Harris Hoosier Park will be hosting one of their biggest marquee races of the year right here tonight. And if that wasn't enough, we're also going to check out some thoroughbreds too. We've got Horseshoe Indy. We've got all that great racing action coming your way. Chris Griffin here joining you. And when you think about iconic names, Dan Patch would definitely come to mind, not only in Indiana, but the entire country. Some even say bigger than Babe Ruth as far as an icon in the great state of Indiana. Well, tonight, it's a $300,000 race to honor Dan Patch. It's a very competitive race as well. But not only do we have the Dan Patch Stakes, we've got a whole lineup. We've got standardbreds and we've got the thoroughbreds. Harris Hoosier Park, races 7 through 13. It's a fast track, looks like a gorgeous night out there in Anderson, Indiana. We've got race 11, the Greg Haston Memorial, and of course the $300,000 Dan Patch Stakes. Then we head over to Horseshoe Indy, races 5 through 9. Great sequences there because we can't leave the thoroughbreds out. It'll be a great night to race under the lights, and really looking forward to that throughout the evening. Also, don't forget about NYRA Bets, that $200 deposit match bonus. You can bet any track, anywhere, anytime with NYRA Bets. Sign up today and get a $200 deposit match bonus with that promo code SPOT200. Enjoy betting on 300 tracks around the world starting today. NYRABets.com. The Dan Patch Stakes, we've been talking about it here in the open. 11 will be ready to go. 1 mile pace, $300,000. Right now, favoritism towards the inside. Little Rocket Man, he's going to be the headliner this evening. Coach Stefanos there at 8-1. A really jam-packed lineup, and even some names that you might recognize in the state of Indiana. We got Sabonis in there. Can't do it alone. Chris Griffin, joined by Sarah L. Odwy, one of our thoroughbred handicappers. Going to dabble in the harness action as well. And of course, a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Wally Hennessy joining us as well.
Yes, so thank you, Chris. Nice to be on the desk with you guys tonight, and looking forward to an exciting night of racing. You know, at Hoosier there, Joe Zambito, the director of racing out there, has put together a good card of racing there. Of course, the highlight race being the Dan Patch. I think we're in for a good night.
We are in for a good night, and big races like this, big days, whether it's going to be the standardbreds or the thoroughbreds, Sarah, these are the days you do get excited for because you see all the competitive horses. We've got some thoroughbred action, but these are the days you really get excited for, or nights, if you will.
And any level of competition, whether it's a sport that you are extremely familiar with and are spending your whole life studying, or whether it's one that you tune into from time to time, when you're competing at the highest level of competition, it's exciting to watch and it really enthralls the viewer. And so I'm looking forward to the kind of action that we get to see tonight, as well as having somebody that is quite the expert on set with us here.
Yeah, Wally Hennessy, of course, we're going to show your stats, we're going to show different highlights of you, but nights like this, when you get into these big events, what's the feeling like kind of going into that evening, especially being in the situation so many times? Yes,
it's a pretty electric atmosphere. You know, when you're going into races like this, it's not just like an ordinary card, ordinary day. It's high pressure, high stakes, and everybody. These are races people remember for years to come, not just for tomorrow. And I believe that the card that they have put together here tonight, or this card with 11 horses in the Dan Patch, should be very interesting.
And we're going to kick things off at Harris Hoosier Park, of course, and race number 7 is going to be that 1 mile pace. And taking a look, a scratch towards the outside in the 11, away we go. And we've got a favorite there in the number 6, and you see that we've got the pacers on the track right now. It's a fast track. It looks like a gorgeous early evening there. We've got a ton of great races, a ton of great wagering opportunities. And of course, we've got a great pair, a great team there at Harris Hoosier Park. Jessica Otten, Gabe Pruitt, how are you this evening? Great to hear you, and see you later. Not quite ready there yet. They're ready to rock here in just a second. The horses are getting settled. The analysts are getting settled. But Wally, when you take a look, I mean, what are we watching right now?
1 for 10 on the year, but I don't think that really speaks to how well he's been racing.
We've got the 3 there. Now you're taking a look at the 8. What are we getting in the warm-up here for those that aren't familiar with the standardbred racing?
Okay, so what we do here is, you know, coming out, this is like a non-winner, it's a condition race. Non-winners are $37.50. It's a $20,000 purse. What you got here is you got, actually there's one scratch, so you have 10 horses going to the gate. At Hoosier Park, it's a 7/8 of a mile track, but they only go 9 wide. So that means the 10 horse will be trailing out the 1. So it should be a very competitive race Right now, it looks like the 6 with Joey Putnam. He's the favorite. Uh, how the race will shape out, I'm not quite sure right now, but I think it should be a. Let's see, we got the 6 and the 9, Kyle Wilfong. He's second choice. When you see these horses parading around here now, they're just kind of like the driver tries to keep them as relaxed as he can before they go to the gate, save as much energy on the horse as they can. They'll get high strung enough when you swing them towards the starting car.
And these horses, when they are warming up, and we see them pretty consistently, so they pretty much know their job. And Sarah, we see it in the thoroughbred world, and that's something we'll talk about plenty tonight because we're going to see thoroughbreds racing tonight. We're going to see standardbreds, but how they warm up, how they get ready on the track, it's something to keep an eye on going into the races.
Oh, for sure. And I think that that relaxation prior to a tremendous physical effort is something that just makes sense across the board as the idea to have. And well, you mentioned the stretch length here at Hoosier Park being one of the longer ones, and yet here at Saratoga, it's one of the shorter ones. And what's the difference between the two for you, thinking about the kind of track that you're going to be dealing with?
Okay, well, this track here in Harris Hoosier there, it's a 7/8 mile track, but the configuration of it is a little different than the other 7/8 mile tracks. The stretches are longer. The back stretch and the front stretch are longer. Little tighter turns for that kind of a racetrack. Big racetrack, usually they have wide sweeping turns. This particular track doesn't have the wide sweeping turns. It has tight turns and long stretches.
Does it give you a home field advantage if you're very familiar with the track and the course, or some of these other drivers coming in? They know the layout, but is there a home field advantage a little bit?
I believe there is, but the drivers that are coming in tonight, they're seasoned drivers, so they can adapt to any situation. So, but yes, if you race there on a given night in, night out, you do have quite an advantage. I believe you have an advantage. But having that advantage, the biggest advantage that you need is the horse you're driving.
Sure, and pace makes the race. We'll hear Gabe talk about that, but Sarah, you look at pace all the time, and pace will make the race. And so even looking at the standardbreds, what are we kind of taking a look at early, and maybe Wally can speak to this as well, is the speed holding? Are some of the horses able to come from off the pace? What are we setting up for?
Well, keeping an idea and an eye on whatever track trends we might see play out is important no matter what you're looking at. And we might see that generally I feel as though saving ground is more important with harness racing. Of course, very important with turf racing in the thoroughbred world and important overall. This, of course, makes sense. Less distance around the racetrack, but especially since you are dealing with a little bit of those tighter turns, as you mentioned, how pivotal is it to save ground?
Yeah, it's very pivotal. But harness racing is completely different when on the dirt for the thoroughbreds. It doesn't seem to me like watching. Not that I'm an expert, but they don't seem to worry whether they're wide or not. On the harness, we have to make sure that we can save as much ground as we can, and especially for the last part of the mile, the last eighth to quarter of a mile.
All right, race number 7. We were right on top of it. It does start our coverage here from Harris Hoosier Park on Dan Patch Day, and it's going to be Michael Chamberlain, track announcer. He's got the call.
Off stride, Ray Graham. Ray Graham went off stride. They are off. Bet Mine had a good beginning. Here comes ER Rookie, and ER Rookie now moves up to take the lead. How About a Yankee is right into second, and then Bet Mine with Big Law. Next is Art It Is. Outside of that, Henry the Horse. I Am the Captain is racing next. After that is Shipwrecked, and then ninth comes Shockwave, and a good distance back to Ray Graham after that break. They're on the backstretch. The opening quarter was 26-1. Moving up the backstretch, it is ER Rookie and Lewayne Miller out front. Next in the pocket, second, How About a Yankee. Then third, Bet Mine. Big Law is racing along fourth. Art It Is fifth, about 6 lengths off the lead. Then Henry the Horse, I Am the Captain follows that. Shipwrecked and Shockwave. Half mile on the board in 53-4, 27-3, second quarter. Moving to the second turn, ER Rookie leading How About a Yankee by a length. Bet Mine third. Here comes Art It Is. Art It Is moving out up on the outside now, has taken fourth, about to take third, and coming up after the leaders. Henry the Horse is following along wide, and then to the inside, Big Law. Also moving up on the outside, I Am the Captain trying to get into contention with Shockwave and Shipwrecked. Head of the stretch, headed for home, three-quarter time, 1:23. It's ER Rookie. Art It Is to the outside. Henry the Horse is also wide, moving up. I Am the Captain down on the inside. How About a Yankee trying to come through? It's a wide open race into the final eighth of a mile. ER Rookie trying to hold on. Henry the Horse. Art It Is between horses. I Am the Captain here on the outside at big odds. Henry the Horse narrowly. And then to the inside is ER Rookie. Henry the Horse the winner. I do believe I Am the Captain got up for second over ER Rookie in a four-way photo for third, 150-3.
Driver Kyle Wolfong getting the job done. He's had a lot of success right here at Hoosier Park, and he does get the 9. Henry the Horse home there. It looked like about 3-1, Sarah.
And this is a driver that has a lot of history on the line coming up later in the Dan Patch, trying to win that race for the third consecutive year in a row. He's done so with big prices, and we'll have a big price yet again later on tonight. But this was a well-timed drive right here.
Yeah, Kyle did a tremendous job. Tremendous job there. He's the fourth leading driver there at Hoosier right now, and he done a tremendous job there. He saved as much ground as he could. Didn't look like they were going to get to the front end horse there, but they caught him late in the mile, and I think you're going to see a lot of that tonight, where they just catch the leaders a little later on in the mile.
What were your eyes telling you kind of early on in the race? And you talked about a lot of single file, just kind of being patient there up the backstretch. I mean, what are your eyes telling you and seeing that seventh race here on our coverage?
Well, what you see there when they're leaving, coming down the stretch here, like there's any one of these 3-4 horses could win this race. The leader, he whacked it out. I'd say right here, Kyle's pretty confident. Like he sees it. Even though he only won it maybe by about a half a length or so, I think he knew about here that he was the winner.
Okay. Do you think we'll see a lot of finishes kind of like this? We'll see them spread out and kind of have that big cavalry charge home?
I believe in this card tonight you will. I believe in this card you will see a lot of these kind of, because Joe Zambito put this card together tonight, very competitive.
Welcome to America's Day at the Races here on FS2. There you see Harrah's Hoosier Park. Plenty of great harness action taking place this evening. We just saw race number 7 go, but we've got some highlighting events that are going to be happening this evening. Harrah's Hoosier Park and the Dan Patch Stakes, of course, as we take a look at the 13th race on the card. $300,000, a very competitive field signed on, and named for a very legendary horse, not only in the state of Indiana, but also the entire country.
Yeah, absolutely. Wally, of course, Hennessy is more of an expert on that than I am. Sarah Bodway here to join you in talking about the thoroughbred races that we have going on over at Horseshoe Indianapolis. But a pleasure to be on the desk with both of you tonight.
Well, it's a pleasure to be on the desk with you guys. And I can say this, that, Dan Patch, like he was a hero of the times when he was, I guess it was back in the early 1900s. He was a celebrity that he didn't race against horses. He raced against the clock, and he was just he was a legend way before any standardbred was.
And Wally, you were saying that people would just come to see him race against the clock. It wasn't to race against other horses because he was just so much better than the rest.
Well, he was better than the competition, so he couldn't get any competition to race against. Like Dan Patch was just superior. And he was owned by a man, Mr. Savage, who promoted him very well. And at certain places, there was over 100,000 people would come just to watch him in an exhibition to see if he could beat a certain record. And he did it on many occasions. I think it's quite a thing that they named this race after him.
You think he would have made your job pretty easy if you were the driver there for
well, at that time, there wasn't the competition that there is today.
We did just see race number 7 go at Harrah's Hoosier Park, and it was Kyle Wolfong who is coming back for a little bit more hardware maybe in the Dan Patch, but we're also going to be heading over to Horseshoe Indy. Sarah just had the winner in the standardbred action there at Hoosier, but she'll be taking a look at the thoroughbred action too. We've got a field of 11 set to go right there at Horseshoe Indy. Race number 5 is coming up, and it's a great sequence. And of course, we are joined by Racing Rachel. It's great to see you, Rachel McLaughlin, joining us on our team. Looks like a gorgeous night all over Indiana, but some great racing as well at Horseshoe Indy.
Yes, beautiful weather. It's very hot. I have sweat bees bombarding my face, but it's definitely a beautiful night. We got lucky with this wonderful weather as we've had a little bit of a tough go of it this meet with rain. However, we're on the turf. Turf is firm, and we've got a very special event tonight, Silks and Roses. I got to give a shout out to my girl, Sarah. She is helping me out with this race. This 5th race is definitely a wonderful, wonderful event, and we are going to raise money here for our charity, Indiana Women in Need. I gave Sarah and 19 other women handicappers in the industry $100 to place a bet on this race, and Sarah was happy enough to participate with us, so very excited for that. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got bouquets, for sale. All the proceeds go to Indiana Women in Need. On social media, we're auctioning off a lawn jockey for charity as well. Just a lot of fun and great racing as well. As you can see here, we're going through the post parade for this 5th race. A very nice group of allowance types. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And it's an optional claiming for 50. They're going to go long on the grass here, and as you guys can see, the 7 is right now the favorite at 8-5. So I'll start out with a little bit of what I saw as they came out before you guys showed our post parade. I really have to say that Hannah, Hurry Up Hannah, the 4, was on her toes and just looked really, really healthy. Her coat was shiny. Another one that caught my eye coming out for the post parade was definitely the 7, Ghostly Gal. She looked good, as well as the 8 here. We're about a minute out from post. My top selection in this race is the 7, Ghostly Gal here. This is a mare who is 7 years old. She's definitely knows her way around the track. She was on the inside last time, and she was on the inside post position 2 last time, and she was 4th, beaten a length and a half. But I went back to her most recent win, and you had to go all the way back to last fall at Churchill. She was on the outside, drew an outside post, and she won by a head there. And looked really, really good doing it. She draws the outside again. I think that might help her. Now, I am hearing John now just scratch. This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen, isn't it? The horse I just handicapped and told you about, the 7, Ghostly Gal, now being scratched. I believe John is saying on the vice of the track vet here. So we are going to take a minute to change around these numbers, and we're going to change the 7, Ghostly Gal. She is a late scratch. While they do that, let me tell you guys a couple other ones that I really liked. The 4, Hurry Up Hannah, looked good, as I said. Joe Ramos on a tear, riding triple yesterday. He gets on these rolls. It's a little insight from somebody who's been here for very many years. There's a few jockeys that when they get on a roll, they get on a roll, and Joseph Ramos is one of them. He's had 4 wins in 2 days. William Cowan's obviously a wonderful trainer, but his high percentages, he has some nice high numbers in long races, which we're going a route today, and also in allowance ranks. He's 22%. And she's the one, I've got to say, the 4, Hurry Up Hannah, with the 7 out, I think it just even increases her chances. And as you can see on the odds, it has done so. 2-1 right now on the board after that 7 comes out. No shocker there. Just looking at her races, they took her to Turfway. She ran at Churchill May 1st, sprinting on the grass. And, that was just, she was last. Not a good effort. But June 26th, if you focus on that, she was in an optional claimer for 62.5. Pretty similar company here in that race, and ended up 2nd with Chris Landeros aboard. Gets the white hot Joe Ramos today, and just looked really good going into it. As they're approaching the starting game, I'm going to throw it to John here in a minute, but I do want to mention really quickly Pursuit of Liberty, John Ramsey. Nolan Ramsey trains, and Mitchell Merle is aboard. He does have 2 wins. He's looking for a triple on the car. There'll be 3 races today. And she ran against Ghostly, Ghostly, who just got scratched, Ghostly Gal. So now she's out. So I think that just opens it up for the 4 and the 8 even more. She was bumped. She had a horrible trip. If she gets a clean trip this time, you guys, definitely going to be in the mix. They're walking across to the turf now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to you, Chris. The handsome Chris Griffin. Just love you guys, the whole table. Happy to see you guys tonight and looking forward to going through these races.
Wow, that might be the greatest introduction I've ever. That's very kind of Rachel. But Sarah, the horses are going into the gate. Big scratch of the 7, Ghostly Gal. It knocks down the price of a horse that you like, the 1 at 9-2.
Well, it knocks down the price of everybody. When you have the favorite come out at such a late stage in the game, you are dealing with the 4 now taking the bulk of that play, but everybody's having their price come down a bit. I do like the 1. I think she can be forwardly placed in here. She draws well and goes second off the layoff as they go into the gate here. But Chris Griffin, you've been called handsome tonight, and you know what? Congratulations.
I'm already a winner, Wally. Here
Exactly.
we go.
That's
We've got
all you
race number
need.
5. It kicks off the pick 5 there at Horseshoe Indy. It's on the turf, a firm turf course. John Dooley with the call at Horseshoe Indy.
That's a win on the night. Hurry Up Hannah's in, 2 back. Fernando de la Cruz with Polka Polenta, like Miss Goodbar, both for Joe Davis and Casares Racing. Here's Polka Polenta. Hurry Up Hannah right now, 9-5 favorite. Late scratch on 7. Ghostly Gal, the 7's a non-runner, and 1 more. Luis Contreras with Miss Goodbar, like Polka Polenta. Both dressed the same tonight. They're in the gate. They're off in the Pink Out Classic. Good start for Princess Bettina. Here comes Polka Polenta, who's up and after the lead for Fernando de la Cruz and crosses over while clear. Polka Polenta takes charge of the early stages from Princess Bettina, who's right there with Polka Polenta out to the stretch, and Big Dig is a close 3rd. Pursuit of Liberty. She gets position, running in 4th with 6 furlongs to run. And then nearest the inside is Hurry Up Hannah, together with Just Be Quiet. Saving ground toward the inside is Vino's Angel, while 2 clear from Bijou Baby Condone is running 2nd to last and beaten for pace. Miss Goodbar trails in 10th, 23.40 lead seconds for Polka Polenta. Polka Polenta dictates the field to a half mile from home, trekked by Princess Bettina. 3/4 length to Big Dig running in 3rd. It's a break of 4 more. Pursuit of Liberty follows them from 4th. Right with Pursuit of Liberty is Hurry Up Hannah. A break of 2 more then to Vino's Angel with Just Be Quiet, Bijou Baby Condone, and Miss Goodbar will have to pass them all. The half mile in 46.80 seconds. Polka Polenta leads the turf mile. Just inside 3 furlongs to go. Polka Polenta still leads here Princess Bettina, who's been right there with the front runner as these fillies mares come for home. And Hurry Up Hannah, is now hurrying up for Joe Ramos, and here she comes. They straighten away after 3/4 in 1 minute 10.13 seconds. Polka Polenta staring at 1 more furlong. Hurry Up Hannah continues to bear down. Then toward the inside is Pursuit of Liberty with Princess Bettina. They charge by Bijou Baby and Condone. Hurry Up Hannah tries to close down Polka Polenta, wire to wire. Holds Hurry Up Hannah. Then Condone with Bijou Baby. Vino's Angel, Pursuit of...
Jockey Fernando de la Cruz for trainer Joe Davis. Polka Polenta from an outside draw got right to the front. It looked like, Sarah, that Hurry Up Hannah was making a menacing move there in the stretch, but the 10 able to hold on.
Hurry Up Hannah, your favorite, eventually at 4-5 as what she went off as. She really loomed up like she was going to make an impact going into that far turn, but your leader the whole way, stretching out from a 6.5 furlong synthetic sprint, she was able to use that speed to her advantage and control from go.
Didn't see the off odds there, but we'll have it when we come back right here on FS2 with plenty of great racing action on America's Day at the Races.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races here on FS2. Nice shot of the paddock right here at Saratoga. That is where we are trackside here on the set. It's great racing action in the state of Indiana, but we've got Chris Griffin, joined by Sarah El-Badwi, and Wally Hennessy joining us here at the desk as well, as we've got some phenomenal racing, but the headline race, of course, the Dan Patch Stakes, and that's going to be taking place at Harrah's Hoosier Park. $300,000, a one-mile pace. And right now, 3-1 morning line, Little Rocket Man, Michael Oosting, they seem to be kind of the headliner in this race. And you take a look at Little Rocket Man. Wally, looking at this effort back in September in 2024, do you remember this effort? And what have you kind of seen or heard or been familiar with Little Rocket Man?
Actually, I never seen this particular race right here in general, but Little Rocket Man's statistics are just phenomenal. I mean, he's 76 wins out of 129 starts. That's hard to believe. The horse is Indiana bred. He's going to be the hometown favorite tonight. I don't know whether he'll go off as post-time favorite, but he'll be close.
There was Little Rocket Man, and maybe not the post-time favorite as Wally is thinking from here on the desk, but I think we have a couple more people joining us in just a second that may have different thoughts, and there they are, Jessica Otten, Gabe Pruitt. Gabe, you know this guy very well. Jessica, you probably know Wally pretty well as well, but we've got Wally Hennessy up here. You guys have the Dan Patch Stakes and plenty of great harness action there at Hoosier Park.
Very much looking forward to the rest of the card at Hoosier Park tonight. Of course, highlighted by that Dan Patch Stakes, Gabe. And they're talking about Little Rocket Man. He's been the hometown hero here. Wally touched on it as well. The statistics on this guy, he's on the board hits 78%.
Yeah, he's been remarkable throughout his career, Jess. I mean, this is his playground, guys, right here at Hoosier Park. He's riding a 4-race win streak into tonight. Now, I will say that competition getting a lot tougher here. One of the signature races of the season at Hoosier Park at the Dan Patch. Lots of invaders from all over the Midwest, the East Coast, even north of the border, coming here with the $300,000 on the line. But make no mistake, he's got a huge rooting section on track tonight, as this Little Rocket Man. He's had 3 chances, Jess, at this race in the past. He's never been better than 4th, but those years he was heading it as a pretty good long shot. He'll try and become the oldest horse in the history of the Dan Patch, this being the 32nd history to win it, 32-year history. He's a 9-year-old this year. We've had a couple of 7-year-olds win it, but he'll try and become the elder statesman if he can get the job done as the favorite tonight.
You mentioned he's 9 years old. His career year came just last year at the age of 8. He won the Battle of Lake Erie, the Jim Ewer, the Hoosier Park Pacing Derby, the Aged Sire Stakes racing here for Indiana sired horses as well. But aside from Little Rocket Man, Gabe, I'm going to say that this is probably one of the deepest divisions of this race that we've seen in the past couple of years.
Oh, my goodness. I mean, this is a very tough race. As Wally alluded to, who knows if Little Rocket Man is going to end up being the favorite there at post time. It's just a very deep group. The combined earnings for this 11-horse Dan Patch field tonight, race 13 at Hoosier Park, over $15.3 million. That tells you how deep the water is. Little Rocket Man did draw a good post. He's got his nose in the gate from post number 2. He's razor sharp. Again, he's going to have to fire with his very best punch tonight to add that Dan Patch trophy to his resume.
And the Indiana sired horses are well represented in here, Gabe. Little Rocket Man from post 2, Coach Stefanos from post 6, and Sabonis from post 10. Now, that was an actual invite to the race in Sabonis.
Yeah, the way the Dan Patch works a little later tonight, you had the top 10 highest money earners get in this race. The race office here at Hoosier Park, they get one wild card, we'll call it. They get invite at 11th horse. That would be Sabonis. He's Indiana bred. He ripped off 12 consecutive wins here last year at Hoosier Park. So although his earnings didn't get him in that original 10-horse field, he got that special invitation. He'll start from post 10. And guess what? He picks up the services of the 5-time Driver of the Year, Dexter Dunn, in the bike tonight. He'll have to try and do it from the second tier.
Yes, and this will be, Dexter will be looking for his second Dan Patch trophy. Sabonis, plenty of success here. He's had plenty of success elsewhere, too. He was the Milstein winner at Northfield Park last year. He was recently purchased by Diamond Creek Racing and Brett Pelling. They took over the training of this guy earlier on this year. He was the winner of that graduate final, and he's been holding himself pretty well in against the older horses. And 4-year-olds have had plenty of success in this race. 10 of the last 12 horses that have won this race have been 4-year-olds.
It's really an amazing stat because the 4-year-old season, Jess, is a little bit of a tough transition. That's the first year. You know, when you're 2 years old, you race against other 2-year-olds. When you're 3 years old, you race against other 3-year-olds. And when you transition to 4, before, you have to race against 4-year-olds and up. So sometimes it takes them a little bit to, mature into those deep waters. But for whatever reason, the Dan Patch, we remember Bulldog Hanover, some of the others that have come in here in the past and got the job done. As you know, a lot of 4-year-olds have success, and Sabonis will carry that market tonight. How about his record last year at the age of 3? 16 of 18. He's one of the top 4-year-olds in the sport.
And still plenty of action to come with that Dan Patch Stakes ahead of us. A quick thought on race 8, Gabe. You like the 9 in here, Joker Rockwell. Marcus Miller out of town today, had 8 winners. So I think that's something worth noting as well. He'll make his patch debut with Coach Stefanos. This horse is 5-time winner from 15 starts. He's riding a 3-race win streak. Post 9, 4-5 right now. Yeah,
you think the life of a driver is easy. Marcus Miller was over at the Illinois State Fair with some state-bred action today in Illinois. And trying to get back here to Hoosier Park as quick as he could. Obviously, he's going to drive at the big one tonight as well. But he does have the favorite here, Joker Rockwell from post number 9. He goes for the sport's all-time leading trainer. Ron Burke, approaching 16,000 career wins, is trainer Ron Burke. He's got a couple of wins in the Dan Patch. He'll have one in tonight, of course, with By the Missile. Joker Rockwell was a recent claim. Ron Burke and company claimed him a couple of starts back. He's 2 for 2 off that claim. Now, he'll have to start from that tricky 9-post tonight, but he's been razor sharp. Jess, I wish I had better news. I'd like to take a swing here to beat the favorite, but at this point, I think Joker Rockwell is the one to beat it here, despite that tricky outside post.
Yeah, we're both on board with that 4-5 favorite. Plenty of prices to be found underneath as well. You like the 2. I'm going to put the 4 underneath of my ticket. Race 8's up next. Gabe and I are on board with the 9, Joker Rockwell for Ron Burke and Marcus Miller. We'll send it up to track announcer Michael Chamberlain with the call.
The Midwest Standard Bred Horse Sale starting gate rolling for race 8. 4-5 on Joker Rockwell. There are 3 claims entered on Joker Rockwell. 5-1, Rock Me Like You Mean It. Field now turning into the stretch. Here they come. They are off. In the center, it's Colford by the Sea. To the inside, Rock Me Like You Mean It. And also moving up, Out to Get Lucky. 700 is 4th. Then on the far outside, Joker Rockwell. Next is Mustang Beach. And then to the inside, Town Gossip. Racing 8th is Gulfaxi. 9th and last early on Time Ted. The opening quarter is up in 26 seconds and going off stride, 700. 700 went off stride, entering the back stretch, and is now off the course to the inside by the pylons. As they move up the back stretch, the leader is Rock Me Like You Mean It, and Rock Me Like You Mean It means it so far, in front by a length. Next in second is Colford by the Sea. Out to Get Lucky is then followed by Mustang Beach, who holds 4th. Joker Rockwell, the favorite, is 5th. After that is Town Gossip, with On Time Ted moving up on the outside of Gulfaxi. And after that break, it's a long way back to 700. 54-1 the time for the half, 28-1 for the second quarter. Rock Me Like You Mean It. In front by a length, Colford by the Sea is next. Now moving up on the outside, Mustang Beach, and going second over is Joker Rockwell. Out to Get Lucky is to the inside, now in 5th position, with On Time Ted advancing to the outside of Town Gossip, then Gulfaxi. As they come to the top of the stretch, Mustang Beach, Rock Me Like You Mean It. Mustang Beach is narrowly in front after 3 quarters in 1:23-1. 29 seconds for the third quarter. Mustang Beach has it now by a length and a half, but Joker Rockwell looms on the outside second. Rock Me Like You Mean It trying to stay on at the inside third, and then On Time Ted, final 1/8 of a mile. Mustang Beach, Joker Rockwell putting ahead in front now. Here's Joker Rockwell and Marcus Miller, and Joker Rockwell is going to win by about a length and a half. Mustang Beach finishes second, holding third. Rock Me Like You Mean It, then Gulfaxi in 150 flat.
Marcus Miller, driving duties there. Joker Rockwell, the overwhelming favorite, 2-5 in Wally. A 2-5 shot, but it did seem like Joker Rockwell had to overcome a few little trouble spots during the race to make it still look easy, much the best winner.
Yeah, like going into the first turn there, when 700 went off stride, the other drivers had to check the horses. They lose a little bit of momentum. But Marcus worked out a perfect trip here with this horse. He couldn't ask for a better trip after the altercation on the first turn.
You really do have to sit chilly, right? You can't panic in those situations. You've been in it many times, but they go off stride. Does your plan change much, or you just kind of stay right where you are?
Well, the first thing you look for is the safety first, and you want to make sure you miss what's happening. But Marcus did a great job. They all did a great job. The guy that was driving 700 Jordan Ross. He did a great job getting the horse out of the way. But Marcus here, like if he could have mapped out a trip, he couldn't have mapped one out any better than that.
2-5 favorite, Gabe and Jess. Quick thoughts there on that race. It looked like maybe some trouble, but really, Marcus Miller, Joker Rockwell, they got the job done.
Yeah, no anxious moments there in the first turn. And to echo Wally's thoughts as well, Gabe, Marcus couldn't have mapped out a better second over trip for this guy.
No, it worked out perfectly. You see those plugs dangling on the side of Joker Rockwell? You'll see, we just went out a picture there with this view, but the plugs dangling out, those are actual earplugs that the horses wear. Some of them do in the sport of harness racing. When those drivers are ready to rock and roll, they'll actually have a string attached down to the race bike. They'll kick those earplugs out, and then the horses know it's go time.
Right.
All of a sudden, all that noise just starts to pick up for them. So I think, that he did have to pop the plugs here, so to speak, but this was a perfect trip, Jess. He had post 9, got away, got good position. There you can see those earplugs dangling just below his ears, and things just couldn't have teed up any better. The front end, the fractions were very fast. So all those horses on the inside having to go that fast, they just got tired. And it was that outer flow. Mustang Beach led that outer flow, and it was Joker Rockwell, of course, second over, that just teed it up perfectly for Marcus Miller.
Speaking of Marcus Miller, he's a newer addition to that driver's colony here in Indiana at Harris Hoosier Park, and what an addition he has been.
He's the second leading driver here, Jess. This is his first season at Hoosier Park. It's just amazing. And again, those fast fractions we just alluded to, those in-sort horses are going to start to tire there. Mustang Beach, the long shot takes over, but Marcus got to draft along a long way here. So when he tips off cover with Joker Rockwell, he is very fresh here on the outside. At some point, he would have reached down and kicked those earplugs out through the stretch, but you'll see him just sitting there, not really even asking Joker Rockwell. I mean, believe this is a much easier win than it even looks like here with the big favorite.
Yes, and later on, we'll see Marcus Miller make his debut in that Dan Patch. There you have the prices there. 280, obviously, that favoritism on the 9. Joker Rockwell getting the job done for Ron Burke and Marcus Miller. We'll send it back to you guys.
That was the 2-5 favorite, Joker Rockwell. Wally, when you feel a big favorite, you know that you're loaded, huh?
Yeah, that's like I said, that's probably where he wanted to get away. Not quite sure that was going to happen that way after the first turn altercation, but like Gabe said, with the hot pace up front, it set it up good for the closers.
Wally's you've driven a few favorites in your time that were much the best, right?
Yeah, I've driven a few. I've driven a few favorites. I've driven a few long shots, but the favorites, just because you're favorite doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. There at Hoosier Park, like I checked it out, the favorites do win at a really great rate out there, about 47%. So that's, if you're driving the favorite, you got a pretty good chance.
We'll see if that trend does hold. Long shots, that's your specialty, right? We got plenty more coming up here on America's Day at the Races. We still got the Dan Patch Stakes later. Come on back on FS2.
As they say,
Book 'em Dano, Prince of Monaco in between. It's going to get very close. Book 'em Dano.
if you can make it here,
Book 'em Dano in a thriller. Book 'em Dano wears him down. Book 'em Dano under a perfect ride from Paco Lopez to win the True North.
you can make it anywhere.
It's Book 'em Dano in another stellar display, winning the Alfred G. Vanderbilt going away.
Bucaro, proudly standing in New York at Iron Horse Stallions.
New York breds. Race them.
Respect them.
Bet them.
Respect them.
Breed them.
Respect them.
Buy them.
Respect them.
Train them for a second career.
Respect them. Join us in respecting thoroughbreds at every stage of life. Learn more at nybreds.com.
McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, home to 4-time leading New York sires Central Banker, sire of champion New York bred Bank Frenzy.
Bank Frenzy, a hard-fought winner of the Commentator.
And multiple stakes winner Sunday Girl.
Clear winner in the John Hettinger Sunday Girl.
Also standing into mischief's Grade 1 Sun Provocateur. And top young stallion Solomini, sire of Mike Lee Stakes winner Doc Sullivan. At McMahon of Saratoga Thoroughbreds, celebrating over 50 years of equine excellence.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. RTN has packages that start at $5 per month.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races. We've got standardbred action, thoroughbred action. We've got a tremendous handicapper and Sarah El Badwi sitting next to me. And we've got a legendary driver sitting up here on the desk as well. Wally Hennessy is joining us. And Wally, taking a look at your career, this is your moment to kind of take a victory lap, if you will. But plenty of winners, plenty of top performances, Moneymaker, one that we'll talk about plenty on the evening. But it's great to have you here on a night like this. And, of course, with all the tremendous performances you've had in your career, we're going to show some of your top 10, too, and take a look at all those great horses that you've had the chance to drive.
Well, Moneymaker is just kind of, she was a special horse. Moneymaker, in my eyes, is the greatest standardbred that ever lived. Here she is here. This is over in Sweden. This is a really a grade 1 race here. Probably one of the highest profile races in the world. It's called the Elite Lop. This is a mare, a female. There's a happy driver right there. Look at the crowds there. Look at the crowd. There's in Sweden. But that particular race, there's horses being represented by different countries. And she represented the United States of America there. And she was phenomenal.
You took a look at that effort there. And really, it also tells you how standardbred, an international, worldwide sport, too. You know, we think about it here in the States, but from all the other countries as well.
Yeah, well, in that Elite Lop there, you know, the countries that would be represented would be France, Sweden, Norway, Canada, and the people that are there, they're very well versed on harness racing. They know the horses, they know all the statistics, they know the drivers. Moneymaker gave me so much confidence when I drove her. I never ever felt like I could get beat unless I got her beat.
Tremendous career. We just saw 12,000 winners plus. That top 10, that list of those drivers, I mean, you probably can kind of memorize some of those guys that are just in front of you, but looking at those names, I mean, you've driven against a lot of these men, and that top 10 has got to feel good for you. 12,011 winners.
Yeah, you know, the numbers are great. Like, you know, all of us guys that are on that list there, we've had so many opportunities. You don't get that many wins unless you get a lot of opportunities.
Who off of that list did you tangle with quite a bit?
Well, most of them guys, like, it was just on and off. Like, you know, Dave Pallone he stayed out in Pennsylvania. He's setting a mark there that I don't think anybody will catch, 21,000. But being in the top 10, I never ever thought that's when I started my career, that's what I was shooting for. I started out with one and just kept digging from there.
And then we get a nice shot here, Sarah. Look at that. I mean, the Meta glasses, when they introduced that to you, Wally, I mean, you were ready to get on social media.
Well,
he's like, not quite. I don't know. It was tempting, but not quite.
Yeah, this was my 12,000 wins. Jessica Hallett gave me the glasses. It wasn't really the glasses, they were hooked to my helmet, and I kind of narrated the race as it went on, gave my commentary. Nice little winner's circle there. I actually was very happy here that my wife and daughter was there that day to join me. But you know who else was there that day to join me? Jose Ortiz.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that, a little crossover.
There are a lot of jockeys that do. They like to go over and they check out the standardbreds.
We've talked about it quite a bit. Flavien Prat, of course, being one of the major ones lately that we got to go see him have that match race. And it was an exciting event to go over there and sort of see all these worlds collide that we've had the privilege of talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, us guys, like, you know, even though it's two separate entities like thoroughbred and standardbred, there's a lot of similarities there, you know, like the competitiveness and, you know, when you're out there racing, like, I like seeing them guys coming over and having interest in us in the standardbred industry. And I have a big interest in the thoroughbreds here. I've been coming to Saratoga 40 years. So I've watched everybody from Angel Cortero to Mike Smith, John Velasquez, and now the Ortiz boys, Flavien Prat. Yeah.
Everyone loves a good match race once in a while. We're going to have more thoroughbred action. Race 6 will be coming up on the other side of the break from Horseshoe Indy here on America's Day at the Races on FS2.
Fox Saratoga Saturday. Defending champion Farbridge returns in the Grade 1 Resorts World Casino Sword Dancer. A win and you're in challenge for the Breeders' Cup Turf. Join us Saturday, 3 Eastern on Fox. Enhance your handicapping with AI Fast Facts, exclusively on NyraBets. Open your NyraBets app, click View Runner Details, and a stat-driven fact will appear for all U.S. thoroughbred racehorses. Download the NyraBets app to start using Fast Facts today.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, and you do see the post parade right there just finishing up at Horseshoe Indy. And of course, if we're talking Horseshoe Indy, got to bring in Rachel McLaughlin as she's got trackside coverage fast and firm. Rachel, who do we got in race 6?
Thanks, guys. Super excited about this maiden race, but I gotta go back to that last one and shout out my girl, Andy B. and Cone. Sarah even went with a long shot. I tried to play it safe with some exacta keys, including the favorite who got scratched, but Andy was the only one with that $19.20 winner there. Fernando de la Cruz with a double yesterday. Joe Davis had a triple yesterday, so I don't see how I missed that one, and I'm kicking myself right now. But we got some nice maidens going postward here. 6 furlongs. The 6 keeps catching my eye. Filled out very nicely in this race, but 0 for 17. They're going to the starting gate right now, but I will say the 5 Truth or Consequence put up some nice speed last time in a maiden claimer for 30, so we're going with a little bit easier here. The 4-point set match. I text Tom Amos, he got back to me, but we ended up just talking about work and you know, Andy Sterling and such. So I didn't get a quote, but it's dropping down in class and has some early speed as they're loading. I'm going to go ahead and send it, though, to John Dooley for the call. I like the 5-1-4 in here in the 6th race at Horseshoe Indy, guys.
Truth or Consequence, the 7-5 favorite. 5-2 point set match and 4-1 scares. Moscato Babe first in. Alex Hajard with Jewel Box. I started as a juvenile last season. Jewel Box to join Moscato Babe. Now Scarce, Joe Ramos on the Friday night score sheet. Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. with point set match. And goes to the Nyquist filly point set match.
Come on. Get up.
here over the 6 furlongs. Fast track on a beautiful night. Couple them back. Walter Rodriguez with Truth or Consequence. 3-2 on Truth or Consequence. One more. 17-time started Adeline, daughter of Gunrunner. Would be a double for Fernando de la Cruz, all in mind. The Rolfing sprinting. Fast start for Truth or Consequence with Adeline right there with Truth or Consequence. And these two in an early battle as they drag race up the back. Then toward the inside is Moscato Babe with between horses Jewel Box right there, Point Set Match and Scarce Trails. Close knit field as they make this run toward the half-mile pole with Walter Rodriguez. Truth or Consequence has emerged the overall leader from right there on the outside, Adeline. Point Set Match in the green cap now coming with her bid. She's wide at the 3.5. Then toward the inside is Jewel Box with Scarce up one spot, and Moscato Babe has dropped back to last. The quarter 22.82 seconds. Truth or Consequence narrowly. Right there is Adeline. Point Set Match looking to close on third. On the outside is Scarce in the purple cap. As these maiden fillies turn for home, Jewel Box and Moscato Babe. Truth or Consequence into the stretch half mile. 45.22 seconds. Truth or Consequence. A furlong away. Leads by just over 2. Adeline is fully stretched. To the inside is Jewel Box, then Scarce, and Point Set Match has dropped back. It's Truth or Consequence, the daughter of Tom's Data. Truth or Consequence, a Bridesmaid No More, won by 5. Jewel Box gained second from Adeline. Scarce finished fourth in 109.92.
Truth or Consequence gets the victory there. Has been a maiden for a little bit, but Sarah, you take a look at this effort. Got the job done.
Absolutely. This horse coming in from some tough meets in Kentucky and always seemed like she was going to be the speed on paper. She ended up having that nice forward position when the 4, one of the main players in this race, did stumble at the start, though, for Tom Amoss on the cutback. The pace situation really did change.
Sometimes you can handicap those races, too, over and over. It's like, I just wouldn't have had the 5 in that spot. I'll take it and move on to the next.
I think that's one of those, yes. I'd agree. Wouldn't have been my first choice.
That's all right.
But
Plenty
Racing
more
Rachel
winners on the way. Race number 9 is coming up. We've got a fast track there at Harris Hoosier Park. And we've got Gabe and Jess right now set to talk about today's 9th race there at Harris Hoosier.
We have a nice full field of 10 in here, Gabe. And the Iron Horses, these are the hard knocking claimers that we see week in and week out here in the entry box. And we're actually going to go a couple of different ways. You like the 3, Trip Hammer. He was 8-1 on the morning line. Not quite sure what he's dropped down to now. 3-2 as the odds popped up. I figured he'd take a lot of action off of that really nice effort last week. Pace home in 26 seconds. It'll be the second start for the Tyler George barn. What do you like about him tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing. He just shipped in from the East Coast here just mid-July. He debuted for the leading trainer here at Hoosier Park for 5 consecutive seasons. That's trainer Tyler George. He was very good. He actually sat last here at his Hoosier Park debut. That was back last Friday night. Sat last. He was airborne in the late stages. He just flew home from last. He only got beat a quarter of a length at the end of the day at a runner-up finish. So I think second start here, now that he's had a chance to acclimate for top trainer Tyler George, I think that he's going to be even better here tonight. Unfortunately, the price at bottom has fallen out. 8-1 in the morning line. He is taking a tremendous amount of tote action here at 3-2. Trace Tetrick has been the leading driver. He's got the assignment of the 3 Trip Hammer 11 consecutive seasons. He opted to go here. The way it works in harness racing, if you're listed on multiple horses, the driver chooses. Well, top trainer Tyler George has a pair in here. He has numbers 3 and 5. He listed his main man Trace Tetrick to drive both. He opted to the 3 Trip Hammer off that explosive effort here at his Hoosier Park debut. I'm going to stick with him. But unfortunately, again, right now, a short price. I'll hope it drifts up as we get closer to post time.
That leads to a good segue, Gabe, because a lot of times we see horses come here from other tracks, and they really do need a start over the Hoosier Park Oval here. It's a long stretch, tighter turns. This guy seemed to excel well.
He really did. And, of course, sometimes horses really do well over this strip, and other horses just don't seem to like it particularly much. It is the longest home stretch in the sport of harness racing, 1,255 feet. So if you've got the horse in the lead, it feels like it's never going to end. You just can't find that finish line. Vice versa, if you've got a horse that can come off the back, you've got a long way to make up some ground. We'll see if Trace is a little more aggressive with him tonight. I think that could be the key. He's got post 3 here. I think now that he knows him a bit, he's been around the track, I think we may see a much more aggressive steer on Trip Hammer.
Ken Rucker will send out Little Rocket Man later on. He's going to send out the 4. Howard Hughes, not quite the season that he had at the age of 8 last year. Gabe made over 6 figures, had 8 wins. I think he's starting to trend back into the right direction. He's got 1 win from 12 starts, but those last handful of efforts I thought were pretty decent.
They were, and this is a fresh claim, so it's a little bit of a barn change bonanza. All of these horses last week, Jess, they were in to be claimed for $20,000. So that means anyone within a half hour to post time, they could step up with $20,000 and take a shot. That's exactly what Ken Rucker and the crew did there last time with the 4 Howard Hughes. So he moves over in that barn for the first time. Always a little bit tricky to try and decipher how they're going to race for the new connections, but this guy earned over 6 figures last year at the age of 8. Not quite as prominent as you said here at the age of 9. We'll see if he can pick up any here for the new connections.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how Peppermint Man does. Has raced here, then went over to Scioto Downs and was back here last time out. 16-1 on the board, 0 for 9, but has been putting forth some okay efforts.
Yeah, from post 7 tonight, early speed, typically his weapon of choice. I think driver Marcus Miller, who we just saw come from off the pace to win the 8th race, I think it'll be an absolute blast mission here with Peppermint Man. He typically likes to lead the gate, mix it up early. We'll see how easily he can get to the lead. That's the key thing here. If he makes an easy lead, I think he'll still have plenty left of that stretch drive, but from that post 7 tonight could be a little tough. Those fractions could be quick. That could be a bit to his detriment.
All right, race 9. It's the Iron Horse for those claimers. 8-5 now on the 3 Trip Hammer. Michael Chamberlain will have your call.
Midwest Standard Bred horse sale starting gate now moving for race 9. 3-2 on Trip Hammer. 2-1 Vettel. Claims entered on Soul Rocker, Backstreet Gambler, and Trip Hammer. Field now moving into the stretch. Pick 3 on races 9, 10, and 11 beginning right here. Here they come. They are off. Soul Rocker starts well, as does Howard Hughes. Backstreet Gambler, then Trip Hammer. At the inside, Rockin' Marty. Vettel is next, followed by Caviart Lotus, then Peppermint Man 8th. 9th is Fox Valley Jasper. Cowboy Cool is 10th and last. Moving around the first turn, it's Howard Hughes in front. Howard Hughes leads Soul Rocker just over a length. Backstreet Gambler is 3rd after a first quarter of 27-1. After Backstreet Gambler is Trip Hammer, moving up on the outside now, Vettel, and Vettel is trying to get up into contention early on. Second over, and following that cover is Caviart Lotus. So those two are moving right up, as is Peppermint Man on the outside. Then next is Rockin' Marty with Fox Valley Jasper, and 2 lengths to the trailer, Cowboy Cool. So they hit the half. 55-2, 28-1 for the second quarter, with Howard Hughes leading the way. Vettel is second outside Soul Rocker. Caviart Lotus and Backstreet Gambler. Then comes Peppermint Man with Trip Hammer next at the inside. After that, Rockin' Marty and Fox Valley Jasper, and 2 lengths to the trailer, Cowboy Cool. Coming to the top of the stretch, it's Howard Hughes in front, Soul Rocker and Vettel right behind the leader, and then to the outside, Caviart Lotus. 3 quarters, 123-1. They're into the stretch. Howard Hughes in front, Soul Rocker trying to make some room. And then to the outside, Vettel and Caviart Lotus also trying to close in. Peppermint Man, Soul Rocker coming on now to take the lead. Soul Rocker up to take over. Trip Hammer trying to close in. And Howard Hughes and Backstreet Gambler, but it is Soul Rocker who is home free. Trip Hammer finishes second. Then Howard Hughes and Backstreet Gambler in 150-3.
And it was the number 1 Soul Rocker getting the victory there. A little bit of a price that you got on the 1, and Wally, going in, you felt like 3-5-1, and we were talking about during the race, trip can mean a lot in these races.
Yeah, the trip can definitely mean a lot, and Trace had a...
on the 3, Trip Hammer.
Yes, Trace Tetrick, he was driving the 3. He had a choice to make early in the race, like going to the half mile. He felt like he had to stay in, or he would have moved. And when he did stay in, he never really did get much room. He was looking for a seam the whole last quarter of the mile. When he did get a seam, I don't think he came with the pace that I thought he would, but the 1 was clear and gone by then.
And everyone in front of you, they're going to hold their position. They've gotten to that spot before you. And when you see him kind of diving back towards the inside, is that kind of no man's land? You're in trouble there if you're the
Well,
favorite.
you know, he was in a bad spot. He really was. Like, you know, he didn't get much room, and when he did get the room, I don't think the horse responded as well as he should have.
All right, it was the #1 Soul Rocker, Charles Stewart, the trainer. John DeLong gets the victory there. Nice little price, and we've got a break. We're going to have plenty more from Harris Hoosier Park, plenty more with Wally Hennessy and Sarah El Badwi. Coming back on the other side.
Introducing Peace and Justice, new to New York in 2025. A proven sire with over 200 wins, 16% wins per starts, and one of only 2 New York-based stallions to have a graded stakes winner at Saratoga in 2024. Now, with 3 different racing surfaces coming to New York, and with New York breds running for equal purses as open company, Peace and Justice is the sure choice for 2025. Peace and Justice, now standing at Irish Hill and Duchess View Stallions in New York.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
4 years now, Monmouth Park's 50-cent Win Early Pick 5 has helped players win early and often. This year, we're adding more. Monmouth Park's new Middle Pick 5 hosts a player-friendly 15% takeout and more opportunity to score. Start your day winning early. Continue to winning more. Play Monmouth Park's Win Early and Middle Pick 5s. First post 12:50 weekends, 2 p.m. Fridays.
It's America's original sport. And no one covers it better than America'sBestRacing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. America'sBestRacing.net is a sport for you.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, and that's a good spot to be. In the winner's circle there, as you see them at Hoosier Park, and it was the #1 Soul Rocker. And we were talking about the trips, and we talked about Trip Hammer, we even talked about Vettel a little bit, but Soul Rocker, you can't draw it up any better, right, Wally?
No, well, like right here, he has nothing to think about but open air in front of him. And with the rest, like Dexter Dunn, who was driving Vettel in, he kind of got in a bad position. He was first up against that horse, and you know, it's when you watch a horse like this here is free up, but like John here, John DeLong's great driver there. I think he's the 3rd leaving driver there at Hoosier Park. He knows what he's doing. When the Vettel, Dexter Dunn with Vettel in, ended up having to come first up, it changed the race.
You did see Soul Rocker there at 5-1, nice return. Even money favorite Trip Hammer with a tough trip ends up in second. Howard Hughes rounding out that trifecta there at Harris Hoosier Park. That was race #9 in that 1 mile pace. We've still got plenty to come up, and race 10 is right around the corner. We're going to hear from Gabe and Jess, and we've got plenty in that 1 mile pace. You take a look at this field though, 1-9 Wally right now. Redwood, Hanover, and a driver that we were just talking about, that's Dexter Dunn.
Yeah, you know, Dexter's been the hot commodity the last 4 or 5 years in harness racing.
And talking about when you're the hot driver, you're going to get the top horses, right?
Well, you're dealing with a lot of the same people, a lot of the same trainers, you know, day in, day out. And everybody loves a winner. And Dexter has tremendous talent. There's a lot of these guys tonight here have tremendous talent. But he seems to be on a roll the last 4 or 5 years. Can do no wrong. And rightfully so. He should be getting the chances to drive the better.
And we do see those same comparisons in thoroughbred racing. I mean, sometimes following the hot jockey by talking about right here at Saratoga and talking about some of the hot jockeys and connections. And there's been a little parity this season.
We have seen a little bit of a diversion from the norm where Irad Ortiz Jr. has been a jockey that typically takes a bulk of the wagering play because he's so successful. He wins at such a high percentage that people bet Irad and they end up usually leaving the racetrack with a couple of winners in their pocket, even if it's not necessarily a positive ROI. But we're seeing that change. We're seeing the waters muddied a little bit here with the introduction of a couple of different jockeys that have had banner years last year, Dylan Davis, Flavien Prat being two of them. And you get Irad at kind of a sneaky good price. And sometimes when you can find those underlays, when you find somebody that's being underestimated, I'm sure it's happened to you a couple of times where you're like, why are we that price? Or why are we that short of a price?
Well, I'm a firm believer in confidence, and Irad, Dexter Dunn is driving with so much confidence right now on the standardbred side, and Irad Ortiz on the thoroughbred side. These guys are driving with so much confidence. Like they're not afraid to make a move at any time in the mile, and when you start thinking as a driver, or I guess as a jockey, when you start thinking about should I make the move or shouldn't I make the move, somebody has already made that move in front of you.
Yeah, I think they usually call that in the zone. You were probably in the zone sometimes with those winning streaks. I always love a good winning streak. Do you know how many you've ever won in a row? Is there a streak for you?
I'm not.
5, 6?
Yeah, probably.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, there's different times, like, when you do get in a zone. Like when you're in a zone, I'll tell you what, no matter what you do, it just seems to work out properly that way, so that's
It's always good to be in the zone. Winning streaks. We got plenty more coming up here on the other side of the break, and we're going to see if the winning ways continue and some prices. We saw a 5-to-1 shot. Maybe more to come here on America's Day at the Races.
Now's the time to subscribe to the NYRA YouTube channel. Join Matthew DeSantis and Kaylee Shapiro for stakes previews, in-depth analysis, and handicapping strategy and tutorials. Subscribe to and like NYRA Bets on YouTube.
RaceLens is the most in-depth product in horse racing, with unique features found nowhere else. True odds, predictive analysis, and pace projection. RaceLens. It will change the way you follow horse racing and take your game to the next level.
Welcome back to America's Day at the Races, and you see a trophy. What are those tennis balls? We've got standardbred racing. We've got thoroughbred racing. Are we ready for this? Corgi racing is coming to Saratoga. That's going to be on Sunday, 2025, and we've got the Corgi Cup. I tell you, this is going to be very competitive. It's going to be very cute. It's going to be adorable. It's going to be fun. We're all dog lovers up here. But these corgis will get pretty competitive, and you see them right here in some of their other races. This is always an exciting watch. And Sarah, you've seen some of these up close. It's going to be a really fun day with the corgis.
You know, I have seen a corgi up close once in a while there, Chris, but I actually have not seen the corgi races themselves. So this will be a new event for me, just like it will be for Saratoga, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, you just see that stride on that one right there, the air. We got a little bit of savaging going on in the stretch with these two. I mean, I think we're in for quite an event, regardless of what may happen with those corgi races coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, you've definitely seen it kind of across the country. And Wally, you've got a dog, and do you think your dog, what was the name again?
Dolly Barkin.
Dolly Barkin. Could Dolly Barkin handle a race and run a straight course and end up in the trifecta?
Only if I was on the other end and she was coming to me.
That's fantastic, but it's always adorable. It's always cute. We've seen some of the names, Milo Benz, Wrong Way Loki, and Gigi. Those are just some of the names facing off on Sunday.
I'm really excited for the names that we're going to be treated to on Sunday. I feel like we've heard little whisperings of some of the elite group being named after some of the gods, like there's a Zeus in there as well that will be competing in what I suppose would be like the Corgi Grade 1. So I'm really looking forward to the different divisions too. It seems like we have different levels of talent out there.
Yeah, and there's saddle cloths that are like the little bandanas. That never gets old. That never gets old during the Corgi Cup. Looking forward to that. Enjoy it here on Sunday. Rachel McLaughlin, she's had corgis and some different races there trackside. From a marketing standpoint, you do it all out there, but we continue to have some nice racing, but we got that Corgi Cup here on Sunday.
Yeah, you know what? Wiener dogs were especially exciting. I'd like to get Sarah's new puppy out here so we could see what Huskies do, but I want to show you guys, give you a little update of the fun. Here's our bouquet. Someone bought this for me, and it went to Indiana Women in Need. And then we are also giving away this beautiful Louis Vuitton purse. I told Eric, my boss, Eric Holstrom, that I was just going to show you guys, but there's another one over there, so I think I'm just going to keep this bad boy, if you guys don't mind. Don't tell anybody. And yeah, we're just having a great time. We got some great racing. But before I talk about the 7th race, I do want to let Wally know that I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make him jealous when I was giving Chris all that attention. Wally and I sat together at the Dan Patch Awards this year, and he is one of my favorite people in the harness world. So love listening to his insight. I started at Hoosier Park when I was an intern in my first couple years. So just love talking and listening about the harness racing for sure. Here we have a little extra time. So let me just tell you guys about these state-bred 10 claimers that we got going to the track here. It's gotten dark. It's still cooled off a little bit. I'm sure the horses are really going to appreciate that. They love cooler weather, so taking the sun down and getting them out here is going to, I think, make some of them happy. Inside post, we're showing the 2 right now. I like the 1 and the 2. I put the 5 on top. Of Very Amelia, who we're looking at now. Santos Sanger's aboard. And, you know, some of these mares are horses for the course. They've been here a lot. They've ran the majority, her in this case, every race except one here. She's put up an 87 at the distance, but that was a long time ago. Still, recently, 75 Brisnet speed figure. 3rd in that last race. So I like that, and I like the horse tour inside. Ace Reporter as well. Mitchell Merle, he's had some success tonight as well. He's looking for the hat trick, 3 races, and a little bit of time off. Sometimes horses need that. They need a little bit of time off and get them back and put them where they need to go. So Chris Griffin, I am going to send it back to you. It's a nice field. I've got the 5, though, here on top in this one. Let's see if I can't get 2 5s in a row. Eyeshadow on top.
Thank you so much, Rachel. I don't know, Wally, you were stealing my spotlight. I only got like 1 race, and then all of a sudden it's how great Wally Hennessy is.
Who was that coming from?
That was from Rachel McLaughlin.
Oh, Rachel. I'm worried, yeah. Rachel. I got a new fan club out there.
Sarah, we're taking a look at this 7th race on the thoroughbred side, 5.5 furlong statebreds. And taking a look at this race, we saw the 2 at 5-1, but we've got the 10th race there at Hoosier. But Sarah, talk about that 7th race. You don't think the 2 is going to be 5-1 on the off-on?
No, I think she'll be a shorter price, but we'll get back to our standard breds right now as we're going through the post parade for the upcoming race over at Hoosier Park.
All right, the number 3 is sitting there at 19-1. The 3 is going to be Round Here Buzz, Jordan Ross driving. And then the number 4, Sure Thing Herman. You got Atlee Bender. As we see these odds, Wally, the horses as they post parade here, do you think much about the odds? I mean, you probably don't see the odds too much, but we'll see a lot of fluctuation, kind of, because we still have plenty of time till post.
Yeah, you know, as a driver, we do check the tote board. Like, I believe that people that bet handicap these races, that's why, like I say, at Hoosier Park, the 47% favorite, that's the handicappers making them a favorite. So I'm a believer in the tote board because of sometimes I might not think my horse has a really good shot. Look at the tote board and say, you know what, maybe he got a better shot than I think.
I think we have two people that are trackside right now at Hoosier, and they know every odd of every standardbred horse running across the world. Of course, I'm talking about Jess and Gabe Pruitt there as they are trackside. And we've got a nice race coming up here, but a big favorite towards the outside right now at 3-5.
Yeah, another favorite from an outside post in here. This time it's going to be Dexter Dunn teaming up with Tyler George, one of the leading trainers here at Hoosier Park. Coming from the Anthony Beaton Barn up at Woodbine Mohawk Park, Redwood Hanover, a horse who's had plenty of success in the past, 10 wins, lifetime Gabe from those 55 starts. But before we take a quick look at race 10, we've seen a couple of Dan Patch horses make their way to the front paddock.
Oh, yes, they're starting to file in behind us, so this scene's about to be pretty cool. We see By the Missile. He's already stepped in here behind us in this paddock. So all the superstars started to file in there as we get set for that 13th race signature tonight, $300,000 Dan Patch. But we still have a few more here to come before we get to that featured race here on the card.
It does cool down, as Rachel said, down at Horseshoe Indy. It's cooled down here as well.
Yeah, we're about 40 miles from Horseshoe Indy, so not much difference in weather. And yeah, as the sun goes down, I think, it's going to be a great evening. We couldn't have ordered better weather for this card tonight.
Let's chat about the favorite in here, 2-5 now on Redwood Hanover. This will be his second start over the Hoosier Park Oval, a nice closing effort last time out. We talked about needing that effort over the Hoosier Park surface.
Yes, and he rallied from far back there. He was last just by the half-mile mark, so he closed a ton of ground there, beat just a half length at a third-place effort. He now picks up the services of driver Dexter Dunn, who Chris and Wally were talking about a bit earlier. Dex came up from New Zealand in 2019. Well, he has taken the United States by tear. He's been the 5-time driver of the year since he arrived stateside. He's having another big year this year as well. Unfortunately, had the Hamiltonian favorite there, Maryland, we saw last Saturday. He ended up third in that one, but Dex still winning a lot of big races, and he's got a live one here with Redwood Hanover. Again, that start over the track, race well. The problem is, again, just a very short price. So as handicappers, we have to evaluate horse by horse, and we have to try and find some value. This horse was 4-1 in the morning line. He is taking absolute pounding right now at the windows.
Always a laser. That's post 6 tonight, 7-1 on this guy. Rick Plano does the training and driving on him. A consistent on-the-board hitter, Gabe, 12 of 18.
Yeah, we actually had a late driver change.
Okay.
Rich went to Marcus Miller on Always a Laser. He's got good early speed. You know, when I look at that board, Jess, 7-1 is a very good price on this horse, Always a Laser. He's been so consistent all year. He's been on the board 12 of 18. He already has a big win here at Hoosier Park. This season, he took his lifetime mark, 149.4. That meaning that's the fastest mile he's ever gone in his career. So we know the 6-year-old is in peak type form. Marcus has been red hot in the bike. Rick obviously decided here last minute. He was programmed. He decided to turn it over to Marcus Miller here as well. I think that he will put this one in play. And I think, again, when you analyze that board, 6-1, very fair, very generous right now on Always a Laser.
Sure Thing Herman gets post 4. Another nice price on the board, 7-1 with all that money coming in on Redwood Hanover. Atlee Bender is going to do the driving for Jeff Culliford, another top trainer here in the state of Indiana. 5 wins so far in his 19 starts. A couple of maybe unappealing lines there on the program, so he's going to get to drop down in class.
Yeah, he does get to work back into a level where he typically is very competitive. This class is for horses that are non-winners of $10,000 over the last 4 starts. So obviously when you start to win money, you have to move up and face tougher company. He sort of worked some of that money off his last 4 starts now, so he gets to dive back in here in this non-winners of $10,000 last 4. The last couple of times he was in at this level, both wins. So we have to consider him a very logical contender here as well.
Round here, Buzz is another one offering good price, 26-1 on him. He'll start from post 3. Last time he was at this level, he was a good second place finish behind Rip Wheeler, who, if my memory serves me correct, loves Hoosier Park.
Yeah, he's one of those horses that just a horse for the course, so to speak. This is a classy veteran, well over $350,000. This is a good field here, top to bottom. Again, I do give the edge just to Redwood. However, I do think he's the horse to beat in his second start here. here, and we'll see. He was raced very conservatively in his first start at Hoosier Park from post 9. He took back to last. I think tonight is the odds-on favorite. Dexter Dunn will have other things in mind.
I do want to mention as well before they head to the gate, Trace Dietrich, Tyler George, they've been a potent pair, not just at the meet here at Hoosier Park, but tonight as well. The favorite right now is the 8, Redwood Hanover. Michael Chamberlain has your call.
10th race field behind the Midwest Standard Bred Horse Sale starting gate. 4-5 on Redwood Hanover. 2-1 Bundoran. Horses are now in the stretch. Here they come. They are up. Redwood Hanover not wasting any time, moving up from that outside post. Bundoran, and then third is Sure Thing Herman. Round here Buzz, and inside that is Play Me Rock. Always a Laser, 6th, followed by JK's Champ, and Rip Wheeler is the early trailer. Moving on to the first turn, and it's Redwood Hanover and Dexter Dunn showing the way. Redwood Hanover in front of Bundoran by a length by the quarter in 26-4. Moving on to the backstretch, Redwood Hanover, Bundoran. After that, third is Sure Thing Herman, Play Me Rock. Racing along fourth. Next comes Round Here Buzz. Always a Laser is followed by JK's Champ, and Rip Wheeler is the trailer. They're still single file moving up the backstretch. And Redwood Hanover has been in front from the start, a length and a half to Bundoran. Next in third, Sure Thing Herman, then Play Me Rock as they post a half mile of 55-1. Moving on to the second turn, Redwood Hanover, the 1-5 favorite, has the lead from Bundoran. Then Sure Thing Herman, Play Me Rock. Moving to the outside is Round Here Buzz. Then Always a Laser is also going to go to the outside. 2 further lengths, JK's Champ, and then 3 more to Rip Wheeler, who is last of the 8 as they come to the stretch. Redwood Hanover trying to take them all the way in front. Bundoran is second, 3/4, 123-2, 28 1/3 quarter. Redwood Hanover, 2.5 lengths better than Bundoran. Next is Sure Thing Herman, Round Here Buzz, Always a Laser trying to move up, but Redwood Hanover's got a 5-length lead. Bundoran is second, then Sure Thing Hanover, Always a Laser. Redwood Hanover is in front, and Redwood Hanover goes all the way in front to win. Bundoran second, Always a Laser gets up for third, then Sure Thing Herman in 1:50-1.
And you saw that front end speed there, Redwood Hanover. It was Dexter Dunn very easily at a short price. We'll talk about it plenty when we come on back to America's Day at the Races.
The brilliance of the legendary Arrogate and the speed and stamina of the sire of sires, Uncle Mo. Introducing Petulante, the first son of Arrogate to stand in New York after winning handily at first asking.
Petulante! He's got a kick here, and he's going to prove much the best.
He won or placed in all 7 of his lifetime starts, including the Grade 3 Salvatore Mile.
Petulante, Nimbus Class, Petulante!
Petulante, now standing in New York. For information, visit IHDVStallions.com today.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
Spine-tingling, jaw-dropping, awe-inspiring, secretariat-like.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race from every track on every screen every day. Monthly packages starting as low as $5 per month. RTN gives you great value and access to more HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire.
Back here on America's Day at the races, we saw a big favorite, but the horses are getting ready to go into the gate. 5.5 furlongs. Not sure what price we have right now, Sarah, on the 2. 5-2. Do you like that horse still, Very Amelia?
Yeah, this one, I am a little surprised she's not your favorite right now. As she now clicks over to that 9-5 favoritism. I predicted one thing correctly tonight. There we go. Very Amelia just seems like she's a class above the rest of this field.
Scratch the 4 in here. $10,000 claiming. John Dooley with the call at Horseshoe Indy.
Very Amelia 9-5 favorite. Alberto Burgos with Eyeshadow going in. Wins Forever, Fernando de la Cruz on the Pink Out Classic. For Joe Davis on the card. Here at 5.5 furlongs under the full moon. Fast Track and one more. No Joking Matter. Alex Achard riding here tonight. Tomorrow with $1 million. They're off in the patched in. Fast start for Eyeshadow with Alberto Burgos. Eyeshadow sets her sights on getting the lead and does as they dash to the first furlong with No Joking Matter chasing the pace. Eyeshadow and No Joking Matter, they're 1-2 going past the half-mile pole. Wins Forever and the Red Silks just in third from Ace Reporter with the rail. 5 more lengths back to All About the Image, second to last, and Very Amelia trails. They round the far turn, Eyeshadow, and No Joking Matter right there on the outside. The opening quarter in 21.98 seconds. It's Eyeshadow by a neck. Alex Achard and No Joking Matter right there on the outside. On the edge of the quarter pole, Wins Forever looking to draw in now from third. Ace Reporter straightens away in fourth. All About the Image, tipped wide for a bid, and Very Amelia is last. Into the stretch, it's No Joking Matter. Half mile 44.59 seconds at 10-1 with Alex Achard. No Joking Matter has slipped away to a 5-length lead from Eyeshadow. Then Ace Reporter, and all jokes aside, they're close to home. No Joking Matter. No Joking Matter won by 6 from Ace Reporter. Eyeshadow was third. All About the Image back in fourth.
Trainer Joe Davis getting the victory there. Sarah, you took a look at the 7. Got a price there. No Joking Matter with the score.
Well, I think we learned about why Very Amelia was taking the drop in class that she was, because she didn't run at all here when she got a hot pace to close into as well if she had some run. But you get a price here, No Joking Matter, when 10-1 and just opened up on this group.
Had been at the distance 3 times, has that 1 second. So it's No Joking Matter at 10-1 there at Horseshoe Indy. Winner's circle there at Hoosier Park, as we've got plenty of celebrations still to come. But it was Redwood Hanover and Dexter Dunn, a driver that we've talked about. He's one of the top in the world, and Wally, somebody that you've been very impressed with. And that was a very headsy, you talked about the 8 not usually being up front, found themselves on the lead.
Yeah, the 8 on his past performance doesn't show any front. But in this race here, he was much the best horse. And when Dexter decided to leave from the outside and he made the lead, the contest was pretty much over. And his stablemate sitting behind him looked like the second best horse, and that's how they came in.
And as a driver, when you've got that 1-5 favorite in front of you and now you're chasing, I mean, you're feeling like, uh-oh, we've got a tall task ahead of us.
Yeah, like Dexter looked comfortable the whole mile there. Actually, Trace Tetrick, who was driving the second choice, Von Rennen, he did well to hang on for second. There was a horse closing fast, Always Laser, that was a driver change from Marcus Miller, who's been doing very well there at Hoosier Park. But it was all Redwood Hanover, Dexter Dunn.
Welcome to America's Day at the Races here on FS1. It is a gorgeous evening here in New York, here as we are at Saratoga, track right behind us. But all eyes tonight are on the state of Indiana. That's right, we've got some great racing action, the thoroughbred side at Horseshoe Indy, but we've got some standardbred action. We've got a $300,000 marquee event there in Indiana at Harrah's Hoosier Park. And of course, it's the Dan Patch Stakes. 9 world records, just a legend from far back, but you take a look at this horse. This is a name that you're going to hear quite a bit. We're going to talk about this horse plenty here tonight. Today's races coming up, race 11, the Greg Hastings Memorial. We're looking forward to that over Fast Track, and race 13, that $300,000 Dan Patch Stakes. Horseshoe Indy, I promised you we've got races 8 and 9. Nice allowance race coming up there as well. Don't forget, you can always get involved in the action at Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Sign up. Do it today. $200 deposit match bonus with the promo code SPA200. Enjoy betting over 300 tracks around the world. Start winning today. Join at NairaBets.com. Gorgeous evening everywhere, and it's Chris Griffin here at the desk, joined by our handicapper, analyst Sarah El-Badwi, and driver, now analyst, Wally Hennessy, joining us this evening. Guys, it's great to see you, and it's a big night in the standardbred world, but, you know, taking a look at these big events, Sarah, we can familiarize with that as well on the thoroughbred side.
Absolutely. Whenever you have a highlight event with some of the best in any sport competing against one another, this is the time when you get really excited about the kind of action that you're going to see, particularly out on the racetrack tonight when we do have several horses that have tried the stand patch before and will be rematching, as well as some new shooters.
Yeah, this race that they put together tonight, the Dan Patch, 11 horses, 9 horses on the gate, 2 trailing horses. It's going to be a very, very competitive race. Looks like there's a lot of early speed in there. You have a hometown favorite, the Little Rocket Man. You have Desperate Man, who shows a lot of early speed. It's going to be a terrific race.
$300,000, and we're going to take a look at the 3-1 morning line favorite, Little Rocket Man. And we've looked at this horse. Might be the oldest winning horse of the Dan Patch Stakes, but Little Rocket Man, while he has really held his form, and he's kind of becoming a real big superstar.
Well, Little Rocket Man is an exception to the rule in the standardbred racing. He's a 9-year-old gelding. He's an Indiana bred. He raced most of his starts have been in Indiana, but he has 76 wins out of 129 starts, and that's just phenomenal. I mean, that's unheard of, really.
Yeah, I've heard of home field advantages, but this seems a little overwhelming maybe for the rest of the field. We will see if Little Rocket Man's able to get the job done, but a very competitive field, $300,000 in the Dan Patch Stakes. We've got us at the desk, but we've also got some folks trackside very familiar with in the standardbred world. Jessica Otten, Gabe Pruitt, you're right there with the action. The Dan Patch Stakes, looking forward to it. Should be a great $300,000 race.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it as well, Chris. And the Dan Patch horses are continuing to flow into the front paddock here, Gabe. And we just took a look at Little Rocket Man's Roland from last year. What a consistent guy he is. 78% of his starts have been on the board heads.
Yeah, it's really incredible. He arrives into tonight, Jess, riding a 4-race win streak. This is his playground. His home base is right here at Hoosier Park. He has started the Dan Patch 3 times, though. Never as a favorite. He sort of loomed as a little bit of a long shot. He's been 4th a couple of times and 5th. It's a little bit different to stage tonight. He arrives in as the favorite. There you see 3-1 on the morning line. He's 9 years old. He made over $500,000 last year at the age of 8. He just continues to rack up major wins. If he could do it tonight with his entire building rooting him out here at Hoosier Park, he would become the oldest winner of the Dan Patch Stakes at the age of 9. We've had a couple of 7-year-olds do it, but Little Rocket Man looking to become the elder statesman on his home turf.
You talk about him being 9. Last year was his career year at the age of 8. A win in the Battle of Lake Erie, the Jim Ewart Memorial, the Hoosier Park Pacing Derby, and of course the Indiana Sired Age Champion as well. So he's looking to add that Dan Patch Stakes to his resume.
It's been a little bit elusive, and not much has been elusive throughout his career, by the way. So we'll see. It's going to be very interesting how that race sets up, Jess. As Wally mentioned, we've got 2 horses in the second tier. The gate just goes 9 wide, so I think that really makes it important for some of the outside horses to maybe try and get some position. I think that pace is going to be torrid, and I think Little Rocket Man could ultimately be part of that early pace scenario.
The Indiana Sired horses are well represented this evening. Him, Coach Stefanos, and Sabonis. Coach Stefanos, we've seen him plenty of times on the big stage as well. Gabe, this is a son of Tell It Like It Is. He was a Breeders' Crown champ, but we're going to just throw it back a little bit to that Dave Brower Memorial back at the Meadowlands on the 28th of June there. He come from well off of the pace to get the job done. As you can see him fanning about 4 or 5 wide there. If he's known for one thing, It's that really big kick of, pace home, and that's exactly what you see here on your screen.
Yeah, he was airborne, just towering up over the top. A 9-1 winner this night. Also the Breeders' Crown champion, the biggest race in the sport in 2024 with similar tactics. He just sat, followed. This pace scenario could play into his hands tonight for the 5-year-old Coach Stefanos. He was actually in this race last year at the age of 4, and he was in a dead heat for second. He also owns the fastest final quarter, meaning the fastest final quarter of a mile ever in the history of Hoosier Park. He sprinted home at a Breeders' Crown elimination in 24-2. That tells you how just lethal his late kick is.
Yeah, we've seen him come off the pace plenty of times. As you mentioned, that big last quarter that he owns the fastest of here. He is an Indy bred, so he's had plenty of success here over the course at Hoosier Park as well. It'll be Marcus Miller's debut in the patch, and Irv Miller's finished twice in this event as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, giving a little bit of a spoil. He is my top choice in here. He gets a perfect middle pack post to deal with. But another one of his major threats is going to come one to his outside. This one rides in the Andrew Harris barn. He'll send out 2 in here. Captain Luke. He's another 4-year-old, and 4-year-olds have had plenty of success here in this event. The past 10 out of 12 have been 4-year-olds. Captain Luke, he's coming off of a game win at the Meadowlands in the Sam McKee on Hambletonian Days, which is 6 days ago. Had post 6th, left, sat the pocket. He's sprinting home at 26-2. A little bit leery there, seeing if he was going to be able to get clearance there late in the stretch, but he did, and he paced home strongly.
Pounds late. You want to know how durable the standardbred racehorses are. This was 6 days ago, as just said, up in New Jersey, just outside New York City there at the Meadowlands. Now all of a sudden, 6 nights later, we're here near Indianapolis out in the Midwest, and Captain Luke, well, he's ready. He's back here on short rest to try and get it done. The trip worked out really in his favor there. Standardbreds like to draft by nature. He got to track a long way just and slide out late. I think his hand's going to be forced tonight. He starts from post 7. I think he's going to have to leave again and sit close, but I think there are going to be lots of levers in here. That's the only thing I'll worry about. Will that trip be quite as good as it was up in New Jersey 6 days ago?
This will be his 3rd start over the Hoosier Park Oval. He was second in his Breeders' Crown elimination here at the age of 2. Wasn't any good in that final, but he does have a couple of those good starts under his belt here. And Andrew Harris has a lot of good things to say about this guy into that 4-year-old season. So he's coming off a very nice win. I think that'll help, his confidence coming into the race. Post 7, hopefully there's not too much traffic heading into that first turn, but they get, there's plenty of room heading into that first turn as well. Another Indiana bred, well, that's Sabonis. He gets post 10 to work with. This is a son of Tell It Like It Is, a newer acquisition to the Brett Pelling barn. Another horse who loves to win. Here's his win at the Meadowlands. He got the job done in the graduate final back on the 5th of July.
Yeah, this one a big win here for Sabonis. He's going to dig in for driver Dexter Dudd, who has shipped out here to the Midwest to drive tonight. He was 9-2 this night. Could be a similar type, mid-level type price tonight. Sabonis, cool story head again, just the 21 horses entered this race. It's for 4-year-olds and up. The way it works, the top 10 highest money earners that enter, they get in the race. The track holds the right to invite one horse, and only one horse. They decided to invite Sabonis. He was bred here in Indiana. He's an Indiana sired horse. How about this? He ripped off 13 consecutive wins last season at the age of 3. 12 of those were at Hoosier Park. So I think Sabonis a deserving invitee, but he'll have to navigate that second tier post 10.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Have to navigate himself through a back tier post. He's done it before. He had post 11 at the Big M. But he'll have to do it from post 10 here. There's a live shot of Little Rocket Man. I just love the front paddock here, Gabe, at Hoosier Park. You get to see them up close and personal. His ears are forward. What a cool-looking guy he is.
Yeah, you don't think that he knows it's about time to go to battle. He is in there getting ready and just, he hears the post-parade bugle for the next race. Not his, by the way, but you can see he's up and alert there, riding that 4-race win streak. This is a horse that's 8 of 10 this year, 14 of 21 last year. He's made over $1.8 million in his career. Just comes in with an impeccable resume. But the thing is, Jess, he typically doesn't take on this deep of company. He's stationed here at Hoosier Park, so a lot of times he's racing against horses that are based here. Tonight, they're in from all over.
Yes, he has had success in against some of the top horses in the country, but he's going to face another deep group tonight. He gets a good post, like we had mentioned. And his regular pilot, Mike Oosting, will do the drawing. Up next is the Greg Haston Memorial. That is race number 11, Musketeer Hanover. Todd McCarthy will do the driving. I believe he was one of the horses entered into the patch.
He was, so had to take a step down here in this invitational. $35,000 on the line. Major shot here, arrives in for the Meadowlands.
Alta Rivalry, Dexter Dunn, Dylan Davis. They're going to team up here. He's a 7-time winner so far this year.
Down underbred, just like driver Dexter Dunn. He's got plenty of early speed.
Golden Bay, he's going to go behind the gate for the top connections of Trace Tetrick and Tyler George.
Runner up at his last try. I think a big shot here.
Crooked Smile, he's coming in off of back-to-back second-place finishes.
Yeah, a little bit of a long shot, but not much below these. 37-time career winner.
Cool Moment, he was a winner of the Open 2-3 level, 2 starts back. He's got 5 wins so far.
Dedicated closer. He needs a quick pace to chase up front.
Another horse who's a hometown horse, that's Buzzsaw Russ.
Nearly won the Dan Patch last year. He was the runner-up, coming back off an injury, but he was razor sharp off a win here last week.
Fun fact about Larry Stahlbaum, he was actually friends with Greg Haston. He trains and drives Blazing Home.
And he chips in with a Plain Ridge Invader here, back-to-back seconds, so we'll see.
I love the 8 in this spot, Birthday. I think he'll be really nice over a bigger track.
Yeah, he's been razor sharp. He's won the last couple of events he's been in. Will be interesting to see the tactics. Typically early speed we see from number 8, Birthday.
Irv Miller, he'll send out Coach Stefanos in the patch. He sends out the 9, Western Era.
Big long shot, probably going to get away last here, so we'll have to have an awfully lot of luck, as most do when you're nearly 50-1.
It is a 9-horse field here. It's an invitational pace. I think it's going to be a good one. 6-5 right now on Musketeer Hanover. They get the rail to work with. We'll send it back to Chris.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, $35,000 purse. No, nothing to be ashamed of, but we got $300,000 later in race number 13. We're going to find out who Wally likes in race number 11 when we come back on America's Day at the Races here on FS1.
I have 52,000 starts in my life. I've never seen one that could take as much as he did early and continue to improve.
And it is Godite.
He's strong, he's attractive.
And he's gonna win the hopeful.
He's extremely smooth and fluid.
Gunite is a tough customer here as they come on for the finish.
How sound he is.
Gunite got the jump.
Consistent mentally, physically.
He will defeat Elite Power in the Forgo.
Complete package.
Welcome back here to America's Day at the Races. Chris Griffin joined by Sarah El Badawi and Wally Hennessy, and we've got the Dan Patch Stakes coming up, but we've got the Greg Haston Memorial first, race number 11. And Wally, taking a look at this race, pretty even from a wagering standpoint, but I know horse you were looking at, the number 6 in Buzzsaw Russ. We saw John DeLong win earlier. What'd you like, or what were you seeing from the 6 here in this 11?
Well, what I like about the 6, you know, he was Dan Patch eligible. Like he was entered in it, but he missed out on it on the money earnings. He's just coming back. This is his 3rd start back off a little injury. He come home in a real crisp 25-4, his last start. So I think he's back to his old self. John DeLong, 3rd leading driver, knows the racetrack well. I think he's the one to beat. I think the horse that he has to beat is Musketeer Hanover, the 1. Will be driven by Tony Hull. He was also Dan Patch eligible. And so these 2 horses, I think, he was really like sneaky good in the McKee Memorial and at the Meadowlands.
And as you handicap or what, you take a look, and this could be bettors, but also drivers, class really seems to just really be an important thing, especially in the standardbred ranks, because some of the horses, they just tower over the others in the competition.
Yeah, well, these horses, like in my mind, like, you know, the way I looked at the race, I think they're the 2 better horses in the race, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to map out that way. But I think Buzzsaw Russ will be very tough to beat.
And we saw trainer Tyler George, but the number 3 in Golden Bay, Trace Tetrick, 5-1 in the morning line, is right now 6-1. So if you didn't like the 6 or didn't like the 1, you thought the 3 had maybe a shot in here.
Well, listen, anytime that's who I did pick for my 3rd choice. You got the leading trainer training the horse, you get the leading driver at the track driving the horse. So anytime you put that combination together, it's pretty lethal.
Sounds like follow the connections a little bit.
Yeah,
Whoever's got not only the hot hand, but just really has a lot of the top quality horses, they get the job done. As a driver, I think I've called you a driver 45 times during this show, but Wally,
that's okay.
When you're getting into these moments when now the starter's call, right? And you're starting to go through the warm-up. These horses are very accustomed to running many, many times. You as the athlete, you as the driver, what's going on in your mind as you're getting set to start the race, especially like here, the 11th?
Well, out here, your mind's already been made up a long time ago. Like out here, you're just kind of trying to keep the horse as calm as you can. And you know what? When you head to the gate, you might have a plan in mind, but that could change quite quickly because you've kind of mapped the race out the way you see it. And when it doesn't happen that way, you have to be adaptable and be able to make the changes during the race.
And the 6 and the 1, you saw them pretty evenly matched. Would you take a look over your shoulder and kind of look at that main contender as they get started? Is that something that you would do?
Well, this is a pretty evenly matched race here. Like as you can see, there's only one that's really at a real high odds, 39-1. So any one of these horses, you know, is capable. But I believe these 2 horses, the 6 and the 1, are the 2 that are maybe a little class above the rest.
Now, are we watching a different situation? Because I saw a couple of horses. It looks like they were getting prepared for the start, but there's a couple more horses back there. This doesn't look like we're going to start right here, Wally.
We're getting a restart here.
What do we got here? What's going on?
Well, okay, this is what we call a recall. It's a restart. I'm not quite sure. I didn't see what was going on. Maybe it was broken equipment, or the horse was acting up and not coming to the gate. But all this happens quite frequently in our business. You know, the horse. The starter has to make sure that all horses get a fair start.
Okay, and this is going to take maybe a minute or so, a couple minutes. Everybody just has to regroup and start this all over again.
Depending on who caused the recall and what the reason for the recall was. I don't know whether he broke equipment or he wouldn't turn to come to the gate.
Sarah, this is always one of the things about thoroughbreds I've always wondered about. Could you possibly, but you can't start the race over. I mean, once they're in the starting gate and once they spring the latch, there is no kind of let's get everybody set again.
Well, I think mentally you can never fully start over, right, Chris? I mean, you have a situation where whatever happened with someone involved in the race, you have that false start, that anticipation of we're going to go do something. As we see right now, we had a driver out, and we're looking at another one of these horses here.
It's the 4. It's the 4 in there, one of the prices. But Wally, you were talking about an equipment issue possibly. Do you know what you were seeing? I know we're just watching on the monitor. But
we just kind of picked it up now, so I'm not quite sure. But I will say this, as a driver, I don't like when I have my horse for the original before we have the recall. Some horses don't handle it as well as others. And mentally, they're focused as well as we are. They want the race to go. So when you have a reformation like this, the outcome of the race could change. Some horses don't act quite the same.
Sarah, that's where the similarity comes in, right?
Well, even just if you're not involved, as we are in either standardbred or thoroughbred racing, it's like someone saying dinner's ready, and then it's not.
Yeah.
You're disappointed.
I would be disappointed.
I know you would
But
be.
also from the starting gate, I mean, we've seen how many times in thoroughbred, I've probably changed many a ticket, right? When the horse breaks out of the front of the gate, you got to lead them back around. They've exerted that energy, and it kind of makes you fade a little bit.
It's always a question mark, and you have to base it on the individual, but it's never really something that you take as a positive overall.
You stick with your bet? Never
I do.
change. Never change. Never change. The Greg Haston Memorial. Wally, he likes 6-1-3. Looks like they're ready for a start. And Michael Chamberlain, track announcer from Chandler, Arizona, ready for race 11.
As they turn into the stretch, here they come. They are off. Leaving well is Buzzsaw Russ, moving right out for the lead. Also moving up Musketeer Hanover and Birthday from the far outside. A Cool Moment is right with the vanguard. And then racing fifth is Alta Revelry. Golden Bay is next in sixth. And then seventh, Crooked Smile. The last two here early on are Blazing Home and Western Era. The opening quarter was 25-3, so they are moving right along onto the back stretch. And A Cool Moment now in front. Birthday sitting second. To the outside of that is Musketeer Hanover. 2.5 further lengths to Buzzsaw Russ, who is now settled in fourth. Alta Revelry is fifth. Another length and a half. Golden Bay and Crooked Smile, they're right together. After that is Blazing Home, and Western Era is the trailer through a half mile of 53 seconds. Musketeer Hanover now moving up to take the lead from A Cool Moment. Buzzsaw Russ to the outside of Birthday. Also to the outside is Alta Revelry trying to move up. And coming on also wide, Golden Bay, third over out there. Inside that, Crooked Smile with Blazing Home and Western Era. As the field moves to the top of the stretch, Buzzsaw Russ and Musketeer Hanover are the top two. A Cool Moment, Alta Revelry, three-quarter time, 1:20-2. As they now move in the stretch, Buzzsaw Russ, Musketeer Hanover, A Cool Moment trying to come through on the inside. Alta Revelry to the outside. Blazing Home trying to do just that here nearest the grandstand. Buzzsaw Russ holding on to a narrow lead. Musketeer Hanover, here comes Blazing Home at huge odds. Blazing Home is Blazing Home, and he's going to blaze the board at 46-1. A Cool Moment and Buzzsaw Russ were second and third in 1:49.
46-1. It was Blazing Home passing a ball here in the lane. And Wally, you said some home connections, but maybe right here at Saratoga.
Wow, that's great. I'm so happy for Larry. That's a Saratoga-based horse, and Larry Stahlbaum's Saratoga driver. This was all caused by the early hot fractions. It just caught up to the horses that were involved in it early.
Would the restart have had anything to do with it? Is it
Absolutely.
kind of now? Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's a bit more.
The horses are more keyed up, and the reason why them closers were able to get into that was off the hot fractions.
And you felt like a 54 was pretty hot. They went 53 for the half.
That was hot. 120 3/4. I mean, I don't know whether they're going to get there any faster in the Dan Patch.
Coach Stefanos fans might like that a little bit. We got break time here, 46-1. Another long shot on America's Day at the Races.
Watchtower coming at Medoro. Medoro, Watchtower. Watchtower got her.
DeMarchelier, standing at Claiborne Farm.
This is my Oaklawn.
A dynasty in motion, reshaping the sport's greatest tradition, channeling the legends of his line and surpassing them. 4 of the last 6 Derby winners carry his genes. A Golden Son, a Horse of the Year. Another chapter written beneath those iconic spires. Derby dreams fulfilled for the titans of our industry. From authentic to sovereignty, a legacy both real and supreme. Into mischief.
Who's in for Mohegan? Obviously everyone. A cheers with friends, then it's off to the races. A moment of calm before the dark and stormy. One more, dance floor. Who needs skill when you have style? And feeling like it's the best time ever? Smile. Apps and nightcaps? Yes. Then it's down for the thread count to start it all again tomorrow. This is how it feels when you're all in for Mohegan. Mohegan Sun.
Race number 8 coming up at Horseshoe Indy, and looking at a scratch of the 1, 8, and 12. Sarah, what do we got here? 6 furlongs in race 8 tonight here at Horseshoe Indy.
I think you're dealing with a wide open group here, and I like the horse that's a little bit more lightly raced, and that's the price right now with the number 3 Batesville. Faced winners and won against Maiden Special Weight Company last time out, so this will be the first time facing winners for this one. But I thought the first 2 races very educational for this horse, just did not seem clued in at all on debut, and then showed a lot more improved speed second time out, dueling through some pretty wicked fractions and still just being second best in there and then getting that victory last time. I thought that this one needs to take a step forward, but this might be the one with that upside against some horses that we've just seen them run sort of similar types of races overall.
And that is the number 3 at 14-1. Did it feel like a race that you absolutely should go with a big long shot?
Well, I didn't like a short price, so here we are.
You never liked the short price
That's
stuff.
not true. It's just most of the time.
Race number 8 is coming up. Sarah likes the long shot 14-1. Rachel, who do you like here in this 8th?
You know what? I actually have a whole list of horses I was going to mention, and the 3 was one of them because I've gone back as I had a little bit of time while we were looking at Hoosiers races, and there has been so many front runners win tonight, even on the grass. Now, I have shown a lot of bias this meet on dirt, especially going short. 2, 3, 5, 7, and 10 all have early speed, and the more I look at the 3 and the 5, I like them as well to mix in with my top selection, the 10. Hey, I'm going with a 9-1 here, so I feel like I'm usually a chalk eating weasel. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Everyone's, oh, Rachel picks favorite. Every once in a while, when it makes sense for me to pick a long shot, I will. And I think that the 10 with the early speed really is a nice one to look at. The 10 Imminent Forecast, who does. The numbers are not as big, but again, I don't like the short price either in here. I think Inclined is one that can get beat. So they're heading in there, but it's definitely an interesting race. Got to mention real quick the 5 Neon Leon, because Tiana stopped by, Tiana Richardville, the trainer of the 5 Neon Leon, and said that this guy's a little bit outclassed here, but he showed that he can hang with them with the 3rd place finish last time. So we'll see what he can do as they load up. We'll send it to John Dooley for the call.
Batesville's in. Marcelino Pedrosa Jr. with To Fly and Fight. Joins. Up comes Need Eve Justice. Santos Sanjor, the pilot, with Need Eve Justice. We're over to 6 furlongs. Jane Elliott with He Be Ready. Fernando de la Cruz, Neon Leon. Rodney Prescott, Imminent Forecast. So stand by one more. Joseph Bielmer with Inclined, like He Be Ready. Both here for Mike Lauer. Incline coming up. They're in the game. And they're off. Starter caught them on a nice line. Fast start for Lighting Fighter. Nearest the inside, Neon Leon with early interest. Defiant Fight is also right there with Imminent Forecast on the far outside. It's a mad dash. Defiant Fight just leans. Neon Leon. They're joined by Creek Valley now, who's pressing through as they scramble early past the half-mile pole. Imminent Forecast, Batesville toward the inside. Lighting Fighter broke sharp. Now settled back in the field with He Be Ready and Inclined Trails. The opening quarter under the Friday night lights. Blazing pace on 21.96 seconds. Creek Valley spearheads them. So Sam Bermudez, Creek Valley around the far turn that way, leads by 3. To the inside is Batesville. Imminent Forecast and Neon Leon looking to stay this pace on the far outside, Lighting Fighter with He Be Ready inclined on the far outside. Further back then to Knee Deep Justice, and finally to Fly and Fight showed speed but has dropped back. Here come the Hoosiers. Half mile in 45.07 seconds. They're coming down toward the final furlong. It is Creek Valley. He Be Ready rumbling up the rail. Neon Leon between horses. Batesville on the far outside is Inclined, and Inclined is mustering a late rally, but it's Creek Valley near home. Creek Valley holding on from Inclined. Then He Be Ready, Neon Leon, and Knee Deep Justice.
It was the number 2, Creek Valley. Had to work at the start, got to the front, and was chased by all the Hoosiers, as John Dooley put it, but holds off the number 11, Inclined.
Absolutely. We saw a big closing kick towards the outside, and for a moment it seemed like this one was going to get there, but all the momentum, Creek Valley able to just keep going on as the pace really did start to come apart in the later stages of this race, Chris.
You really do start to, I just think about the fans and the bettors on the apron, because probably there's a couple moments there where if you had the 2, you're like, oh no. But somehow you get across the wire first. They got across the wire first, and the 2 does that. Creek Valley, could see the price there, but nice victory there for Samuel Bermudez and trainer Aaron West. We got a winner's circle coming up here from Hoosier Park as we continue to see the winners just enjoying a lovely evening. And these are connections, Wally, that you are very, very happy for, and kind of connection, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this Larry Stahlbaum, he's just an all-around horseman. You know, for him to win this race is a pretty big thing. Larry trucked this horse out there himself. He owns him, he trains him, he drives him, he shoes him. I mean, hey, listen, he won the race because of the pace of the race, but it doesn't matter. He got there first, and very, very happy for him.
And Blazing Home right now has bragging rights because Blazing Home rode with a partner in the barn as well, right?
Yes, yeah, Blazing Home looked very good here. He was the strongest horse because he hadn't get used at all.
Rock and Roll Runa, they're trying to do the same thing a little bit later on in the Dan Patch.
Yes, Rock and Roll Runa. Well, you know, his form right now probably isn't as good as some of them in there, but Rock and Roll Runa has been there before, so don't be surprised if he does knock them off.
Big price there, $95 winner, Blazing Home. The pace makes the race, and the pace fell apart, and we saw big payouts there at Hoosier Park. We got race number 12. It'll be the race right before the $300,000 Dan Patch Stakes, and we take a look at this field, a field of 10 getting set to go in race number 12, and it's going to be that 1 mile pace that we're very familiar with. Wally, any early thoughts here in race number 12? Who did you like here on top?
Okay, I kind of like the 6 here. Todd McCarthy, who's another guy who's been very hot, a hot driver. Todd McCarthy, and Andrew Harris is an up-and-coming young trainer. A lot of great horses. What I like about the 6, 7 to 1. Yeah, 7 to 1. I like the 6 in here with Todd McCarthy. I think you're going to get a pretty good price on this horse, too.
Yeah, I think you're getting a good price right now on Lighter, too. It's Michael Oosting, Ken Rucker. They're going to be teaming up in just a little bit there in the Dan Patch Stakes as well. So race number 12, maybe we see another $95 winner. Maybe we see a favorite. Who knows? It's all coming up still. Let's take a break right here on America's Day at the Races, and we'll be back with more from Hoosier Park.
The dog days of summer are here. Corgi races are coming to Saratoga. The first annual Corgi Cup arrives at the spa, Saratoga's Corgi Cup. Join us Sunday, 1 Eastern on FS2.
RaceLens is the most in-depth product in horse racing with unique features found nowhere else. True odds, predictive analysis, and pace projection. RaceLens. It will change the way you follow horse racing and take your game to the next level.
Back here on America's Day at the Races, race number 12 is coming up. We've got a field of 10 getting set to go in this 1 mile pace. And Wally, he likes the 6, 2, and 9. Talked about Zeppeli Hanover a little bit, Rolling Image. And also Pat McGarry is going to be towards the outside for trainer Ron Burke, who's, we've seen trainer Ron Burke. He's just really been on a run for decades at this point.
Well, this is the first time Ron Burke, and that's a pretty good sign. Generally, when Ronnie gets a horse, he seems to be able to pick them up right away. And, having Dexter Dunn, once again, we're going to bring Dexter's name up. Having him in the bike certainly doesn't hurt matters much either. But he's going to have his hands cut out from out there, 9 post.
All right, we're going to find out what happens here in race number 12. 629 for Wally Hennessy up here on the desk. Gabe, Jess, are we on it? 629, what do you think?
Well, it is going to be another good race. We've had plenty of nice finishes here throughout the night. We're looming closer and closer to the Dan Patch Stakes. Gabe, before I touch on your top choice, Ronnie Burke was just standing over here a couple of minutes ago, and he's pretty high on Pat McGarry. Post 9, first start for his barn. He's going to pick up Dexter Dunn.
Yeah, that's the horse that Chris and Wally were just discussing, Jess. And yes, Ronnie actually stopped by the set here just a moment ago. And didn't talk to us about his Dan Patch starter, by the way. By the whistle, he said, oh, boy, this Pat McGarry we just got. I really like this horse. Ronnie knows what he's talking about, by the way. The sport's all-time leading trader. In fact, in terms of wins, he's the all-time leading trader in the history of horse racing. He's nearing it on 16,000. He's got well over $350 million in purse earnings. So when he says something, I don't take it lightly. And, yes, he was a little bit high here on the newcomer to his barn, Pat McGarry. They just acquired him. That tells me that they'll probably going to take a big, aggressive shot from that post here tonight.
Your top choice is a 5. That's the current lukewarm 2-1 favorite. MM's Bud, Alvin Miller, Jay Cross teaming up here. Horse who loves to hit the board. He's a 10-time winner from 43 lifetime starts. Excuse me. This is a son of Tell It Like It Is. He's been racing in some pretty deep company, and he's going to get to take a little bit of a drop down in class.
Yeah, and he is really a true Indiana bred. I believe every single start in his career, Jess, to my knowledge, has come right here to Hoosier Park, all 43 tries. He just had a tough trip last time. That took its toll on him a little bit late. I think overall maybe a little easier company. He's got some good speed. Jay Cross is in the bike. How about Jay Cross, veteran reinsman? He's been here every season at the driving colony at Hoosier Park since the track opened in 1994. So he's going to live one here, I think, with MM's Bud. I think he'll utilize that early speed, get him out of the gate there, and get some good early position. So I think that he'll be forwardly placed. I do deem him the one to beat as we take a look at that Burke newcomer, Pat McGarry, with the outrider there at his first Hoosier Park try.
Ron Burke sends out another one. It says this one's the son of J.K. Endavanera. That's a 3 play action pass. Marcus Miller will do the driving here. 10-1 right now, Gabe. And I've seen this guy put up some pretty decent miles here from off of the pace. He's another one that gets to take a dip down in class.
I will just question his fitness, though. He is it against easier company, but typically I don't like to land on class dippers that are just a little bit dull, Jess. I think that could be the case with play action pass. He's 10-1. We know if he fires his best shot, he's certainly good enough to be very competitive in here, but I do worry. He was 6-5 last out to well beaten as the favorite. 2 starts back, he was 4-5 and well beaten. So I do just question his fitness despite the drop in class.
I'm one that doesn't like taking horses on the way down in class. I'd rather take them on the way up as they're racing well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You want a sharp horse. I think sometimes, especially those of us out there wagering, horses that just, maybe a little dull, but they're dropping in class, they tend to get overbet. I'm like you. I like a sharp horse on the move up. I think a lot of times we see some false favorites, some horses take some false money, when things just aren't going that well.
I'm liking the price on the horse that's going to start from the rail for Kyle Wilflong. Fox Valley Kodiak never left the rail last time out here at Hoosier Park in the Open 226 flat at the end of it. He scored at odds of 65-1, and he's been in the winner's circle 5 times so far this season, Gabe, from just 8 starts.
I was going to say, if you like the price tonight at 7-1, how about the 65-1 upset here that he pulled off last Friday night? The one thing I tend to do, Jess, if you miss the party at 65-1, boy, it's awfully tough to come back here to much reduced 7-1. The Red Seas did sort of part there for him. He was hopelessly trapped on the inside. Well, everyone started to veer out and battle for position. Well, Fox Valley Kodiak just saved every step of the way and, again, pulled off that massive upset. You see he's getting a little more respect to the board tonight at 7-1. But at the end of the day, I do think he'll end up double digits once more.
They're still taking a couple of turns before they head to the gate. What about the 6, Zeppel Hanover for Andrew Harris and Todd McCarthy? This guy's got plenty of good starts under his belt throughout his career, especially this year. Post 10 in Lexington last time out, closed well, was second behind Wavemaker. And he's pretty sharp, too. Look at those on-the-board hits. He's a 4-time winner from 15 starts. Good post to work with in his regular pilot, Todd McCarthy's
Yeah,
account.
this is the team that we're going to see with Captain Luke here, the feature. That's going to be race 13, that Dan Patch, Andrew Harris, the trader, Todd McCarthy, the driver. So they sort of almost get a warm-up here with Zeppeli Hanover and just a little bit easier. You know, he's okay. He has been consistent all season, 11 of 15. I just question this is a little bit of a deep group. I think it's a little bit more of a shark tank, so to speak, that he has seen in his recent tries. So for my money at 5-1, just a little bit short. He's a bit of an unknown quantity as he makes his first career start at Hoosier Park.
You know, the duo of Trace Tetrick and Tyler George, they're going to send out and sit behind the 2 Rolling Image. This one's coming off of a win in the non-winners of 4, but no more than 9. And horse that's faced Open 2 Company as well. And this one also a 4-time winner in 9 starts this year.
Yeah, got it done last time against Similar Company. As we mentioned many times throughout this broadcast, you just can't ignore the leading connections here at Hoosier Park. Trader Tyler George, driver Trace Tetrick. They win a lot of races, and they do so for good reason. Rolling Image does arrive at Razor Sharp. He was a winner at this level at his last try. That was a couple of weeks back. But in my opinion, this is a much deeper group top to bottom that he faced that night. I think he'll have to be at his very best.
I think 4-1 right now is a pretty nice price on Pat McGarry.
Yeah, he started to drift down just a tick, but yes, the newcomer, and you just don't know about horses like that, Jess. I've seen trainers, be very confident, line Ron Burke in the past, but they're not accustomed to the horse. They're not accustomed maybe to all of the equipment and sort of necessarily what they like to wear and what their racing style may be. So sometimes it works out really, really well. Sometimes not so well.
Right.
Sometimes they have to go back to the drawing board. So it's a little bit of an unknown here. He does have the tough post, obviously, but he does have the services of driver Dexter Dunn. That never hurts. We'll see if he can take a step forward. He's a classy veteran. Pat McGarry at the 9, 40-time winner. He's earned right at $400,000.
And one thing Ronnie did say about him was he likes the bigger track. Hasn't had a chance to race on a bigger track, so you see a lot of those marks on the 5/8 and 7/8 track, but he's going to get a chance to race over a big oval here.
No question about it. I think he's going to get a chance to race early and often because I don't think he'll be dunking tonight from this post, so we'll see what's under the hood here tonight in the Burt Newcomer.
Going to ask you again about MM's Bud real quick. We've seen him on the front plenty of times. Obviously, you've seen this guy week in and week out. I think he's in a tough group of horses here. Do you think he's capable of doing it either way?
I think he prefers to be forwardly placed. You see him out there nice and relaxed, but I think that won't be the case off the gate. I think driver Jay Cross is going to have him forwardly placed here. He typically seems to have more interest, Jess, when he's up forwardly placed. He knows there's a race going on right from the get-go. Sometimes I've seen him race a little bit from well off the pace, and it just seems like he maybe just doesn't try as hard as he does when he's out there involved in the action early on.
All right, race number 12 heads to the gate. 9-5 now on MM's Bud. We're getting closer and closer to the Dan Patch Stakes that comes up in race number 13. Michael Chamberlain will have the call of race 12.
The field for race 12, approaching the Midwest Standard Bred Horse Sale starting gate. $30,000 guaranteed pick 4 on the last 4 races on the program, starting right here. 8-5 MM's Bud, 4-1 Pat McGarry. The field is now in the stretch. Here they come. They are up. And moving up from the outside is Pat McGarry. In the center, Zeppeli Hanover and Fox Valley Julian. Fox Valley Kodiak at the inside. MM's Bud moving up to the outside with the field now banking on to the first turn. And on that first turn, Pat McGarry on the outside comes on to take the lead from Zeppeli Hanover as they post an opening quarter of 26 seconds. Pat McGarry the leader, but MM's Bud is moving up on the outside, all the way up into second now. Zeppeli Hanover is to the inside third, followed by Fox Valley Julian, 2 lengths to Fox Valley Kodiak. Then Rolling Image is next with Play Action Pass. Evil Eye Fleagle is 8th, Lighter, and then Mr. D's Rock is the trailer. MM's Bud now has the lead as they approach the half mile. MM's Bud now in front through a half of 53-3, 27-3 for that second quarter. It's MM's Bud, the 9-5 favorite, with the lead from Pat McGarry, who's pocketed second. Zeppeli Hanover, Fox Valley Kodiak is moving up on the outside first over, and Rolling Image is also advancing on the outside. Then Fox Valley Julian to the inside. Next are Play Action Pass and Lighter, then Evil Eye Flegel and Mr. D's Rock. And the field comes to the top of the stretch with MM's Bud in front, 3/4 of a mile in 1:22.1. Fox Valley Kodiak to the outside. Rolling Image is also trying to move up wide. Pat McGarry trying to squeeze through on the pylons. It's Fox Valley Kodiak with the lead. Zeppeli Hanover, Rolling Image, MM's Bud dropping back. Down on the inside is Pat McGarry, but it's going to be Fox Valley Kodiak. Fox Valley Kodiak is going to win it. Pat McGarry finishes a very good second. Photo for third. Rolling Image and Zeppeli Hanover, 1:50.1.
And you did see the number 1, Fox Valley Kodiak. Kyle Wilfong driving to victory there. And while you were taking a look at the race, you saw it very well. You had 6.29. It looks like it ends up 1:9.62, I think, is how the order finish was. But
Yeah.
Kyle Wilfong just very strong there with the 1.
Yeah, that Kyle knocked me right out of the box there. Is that how they? Yeah, I think the 6 get up for third. Yes.
You think?
So I was close.
Oh, you were all over
You
it.
were sitting right in the pocket the whole time.
I was 2, 3, 4.
But taking a look at the trip, I mean, Fox Valley Kodiak just worked out a little bit better trip, maybe just a little bit stronger, was able to hold off that charge from Pat McGarry.
Yeah, once again, Chris, the fractions were strong again. The fractions are strong here tonight. The boys are anxious out there tonight. Track's fast, big night.
And there's no question to you that these drivers are knowing that, right? They know that everybody's a bit keen. They want to set enough pace.
Oh, absolutely.
And they're looking at that going into the big $300,000 race.
Yes, he made the move to the front like he's supposed to. And I was really pleased with the horse I picked, the 6 that Toddy decided to leave out.
Winner of 12,000 races, but you're just like us. You were a handicapper right there. You were rooting your 6 getting out of there. We're going to have plenty more. And the big one, the Dan Pash Stakes, coming up when we come back here on America's Day at the Races. And we have corgis. Now we have T-shirt toss. What don't we have on tonight's show? Racing, Rachel McLaughlin, and the T-shirt toss, always popular at Horseshoe Indy.
Charge, it is pouring it on, winning McDwyer by the length of the stretch. Charge It wins it convincingly in this Grade 2 Suburban.
You bet with Naira Bets. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Download the Naira Bets app to play today and get a $200 deposit bonus. Watch live horse racing. Get expert picks. Boost your bankroll with weekly promotions and hone your handicapping skills with exclusive tips and tutorials. Download the Naira Bets app now. Sign up now to claim your $200 deposit match bonus. You bet with Naira Bets.
At the top of the stretch, an obliteration. Obliteration. Perfectly named individual is romping home in the Sanford. 7 lengths past the 16th hole. Obliteration is a star.
There's a big, bold, beautiful world waiting to be explored by you and your friends, of course. But not just any friends, the best of friends. The kind of friends who let you do you. Because in this world, it's positive vibes only. And when you get in the zone here, you stay a while. These aren't just good times, they're the best of times. And your time is now. So come explore. Resorts World.
Winner circle time once again here on America's Day at the Races as you see Fox Valley Kodiak. Kyle Wilfong doing the driving and taking a look at this replay here, Wally, and looking at the way that the race was shaping up and the finish. You felt like your top pick, the 6, Zeppeli Hanover, was in a nice spot, but the 1 just maybe got a better trip than everybody else.
Yeah, he did. I thought the 6 had a little bit more pace there than he actually did, but no, as it ended up, this guy got the better trip, but I think he had the better horse tonight, really.
Is there a trip that seems to be really paying off better tonight for you? Are you seeing any kind of trend whatsoever, or it's just
Not
racing
really.
luck?
What I'm seeing a lot of tonight is hot fractions, and we're really going to see some hot ones coming up in this next one, I believe. There's a lot of early speed in this race, two trailers. We're going to see a lot of action.
Very much looking forward to that. We're going to take a look at the Dan Patch field as we do talk about that. And who were those 2 that you felt like really would like a nice pace setup in the Dan Patch?
In the Dan Patch,
it was Coach Stefanos you felt like could really like a hot pace, but who was the other one you were talking about?
Look, Coach Stefanos is definitely my long shot. What I would say long shot. I don't know whether he's going to go off. He's 5-1 now, but I really like his chances if there's a hot pace. And who I'm liking is Sabonis.
Okay, we're going to talk more about Sabonis. We got Gabe Pruitt right now, and he is talking to Little Rocket Man and the Connections. Very familiar people, and they're trying to win the big one here tonight.
Thanks so much, Chris. And I'm standing by with co-owner Jack Freeman. Goes by Boomer, of course. Boomer, we're standing here with Little Rocket Man. We're just minutes away from the 32nd Dan Patch. Now, you're a retired police officer. You've been in many tense situations, but right now you've got the favorite at the Dan Patch. How's it feel?
Nothing compared to this. This is unbelievable. Being the favorite really don't surprise us. He's always a favorite here. It's his home track. It's where he does his best work. So to be the favorite is just another day to him, I think.
And he's won 4 in a row coming into tonight. He's raced the Dan Patch a few times in the past. I think 4th his best effort so far, but he was a little bit of a long shot. He just seems to get better and better with age.
I don't know how to answer that one. He does get better with age. We've had 2 4ths and a 5th or something like that in the Dan Patch. Just never had the luck to break through in a race like this. So hopefully tonight things change.
What does it mean to be in the track signature race right here in your hometown? Now, you guys always pack a crowd, so I know you've got quite the crew here tonight. He will really bring the house down if he can get this one done.
If he wins, it's going to be quite exciting around here. Things are really going to liven up the next few races.
I just hope we can fit everyone in the winner's circle, guys. If Little Rocket Man, the locally based horse, right now the favorite for that $300,000 Dan Patch, is coming up shortly.
Thank you very much, Gabe Pruitt there. And Wally, what you were talking about, as we've talked about throughout the evening, the finesse you have to have as a driver sometimes is just trusting the horse to perform at his top ability. And Little Rocket Man, you can hear from the Connections there, it just kind of stay out of his way at this point because he knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah,
well, Little Rocket Man will probably get you out of situations that you'll put him in that he'll get you out himself. When you see that owner there, talking with Gabe and the pride he has in that horse, and rightfully so. Had him for that amount of time, 9 years old, racing in this kind of caliber of field. I'm looking for a great race here coming up in this Dan Patch.
You had 12,000 winners. Out of those 12,000, how many of those were just stay out of the way? It was just let them do their thing.
Well, a lot of times you'd like to be able to do things that you'd want to do, but 1998 with Moneymaker maybe, but the way I look at it, like a lot of times you're put in situations that are dictated to you that you don't know.
Were you saying anything to yourself here? You're in Sweden, you're representing America. What's going through your mind? 1998, a few years ago, but what were you thinking right here?
Well, right here, Moneymaker, on that particular day, that was the second heat. There was eliminations earlier. Like I said earlier, look at that fella. How happy is he? But anyway, Moneymaker took me out of so many precarious situations. It didn't matter which way I drove her, tough, easy. She was just a phenomenal horse.
Yeah, taking a look at that victory there, and that was a global event. As you saw the victory, you see the fans from different countries rooting for you. But 12,000 winners. We're going to take a look at this top 10 list, and a lot of big names up there. But Wally, you're right there too, my man.
Yeah, I hit the top 10. I think that's about as high as I'm going to get. It'll only go down from here, but it's been a great career for me, my longevity in the business. I never ever expected it to be this long.
How about 21,000 though? How do you even look at 21,000?
A lot of wins. A lot of wins.
Wally Hennessy here joining us. He's been
Lot of
fantastic
wins.
throughout the evening. Sarah El-Badwi joining us as well. And you're starting to like a horse that's standing out to you in the Dan Patch. You've been pointing towards maybe the driver a little bit, but you brought in a nice
Hey,
stat with
I
Kyle Wilfong,
mean,
and now you're going to catch a big long shot.
There's a little bit of an angle going on here. We just saw him win the last race with Kyle Wilfong, a driver that is trying to win his third consecutive Dan Patch, and I believe would be the first one to do so in history. He's able to do that tonight with a horse towards the outside in Charlie May, and I was asking Wally off camera what his thoughts were. He says maybe not in the absolute best form of his life coming into this race, but I think that we're going to see a competitive group, and the fast fractions have been worth paying attention to for sure.
Yeah, Charlie May, Kyle's got his work cut out from here from the outside, but believe me, if Charlie May won this race, it wouldn't surprise me a little bit. He has the back class to do it. Maybe his form hasn't been as good lately, but I haven't watched all his races. Maybe the races that he was in just kind of didn't map out the way that it worked for him. Maybe tonight's his night.
All right, we'll find out, and we've got plenty more in a big race coming up. Horseshoe Indy, race number 9. You like Kyle Wilfong in a big long shot? Where do we go here, Sarah, in today's 9th race at Horseshoe Indy?
Well, not that quite big of a price, which we'll get to my top selection in a moment, but we're taking a look at what horse that is a big price and did show some speed last time out. But Texas Hottie's one, an even bigger price, would be a big surprise coming in here, just has been really off form.
7-2 right now on the, La Lily. Yeah, you get 7-2, Rogelia Miranda.
This one did run well against winners for the first time last out. Plenty of early speed as well.
All right, and there is the 7, Fernando de la Cruz, White Dove.
This is where I land here, a horse that's only been on the dirt once and ran very well to win.
Favoritism right now is on the 8, 4-5. Marcelina Producer Jr. will be aboard Wampus Kitten.
This one just the one win in 11 starts, but has been right in the same zone over the last couple of races.
Santo Sanjura on Captive Heart.
This one coming in has made a barn change. It does have a good work two back as well.
And Joseph Ramos will be aboard the number 11 towards the outside, 7-2. That is a post parade on tape. Top pick once again, Sarah?
I'm going with number 7, White Dove, a horse who's only tried this surface the one time. That did result in a victory.
All right, they are loading into the gate here. $5,000 claimer. Horseshoe Indy night racing. Let's get the 7 home here at 5-1. John Dooley with the call.
Loading up fast here. 2 back. Santo Sanjor with Captive Heart at 5.5 furlongs. So stand by, one more. Collected Success. Joe Ramos won the second race turf sprint on the card. It's the last of the night here with the Dan Patch Stakes still to come from Hoosier Park. Last of the night, all in. And the Roth. Texas Hottie was slow to go. Fast start for White Dove. So White Dove challenged by La Lily. It's La Lily and White Dove, and both with plenty of pep in their step. They've sprinted away by 2 from Wampus Kitten, who's joined out wide by Captive Heart, running in 4th. Collected Success is wide. Then toward the inside is Charlena, and slow starting Texas Hottie. Trails here in the Friday finale as they barrel into the far turn. It's La Lily with White Dove looking to match strides. The quarter just over 22 seconds. And right there on the outside is Wampus Kitten coming in the 3 path, and Captive Heart is 4 wide coming toward the quarter pole. Then toward the inside is Charlena, who straightens away in 5th. With Collected Success, we trail back to Texas Hottie. They turn for home. It's La Lily. La Lily toward the inside for Rogelia Miranda. Leads them into the stretch. From between horses, White Dove charging on the outside. Here's Wampus Kitten. Toward the inside is Charlena. They're well inside the final furlong. La Lily just clings on. White Dove battles on. Wampus Kitten joins the battle too. Toward the inside is Charlena. They scramble to the line. White Dove. White Dove dives out to win it from Wampus Kitten. And then Charlena with Collected Success and Captive Heart. White Dove, Fernando de la Cruz, Joe Davis having a big night. He wins 3, takes the pink.
Look like 5-1 on the winner. T-shirt tosses, Sarah El-Badwi. White Dove, right to the winners.
I would take a T-shirt. I mean, this horse seemed like one that wasn't really going to be much of a factor, but she liked a little bit of a fight here because the horse was going to try to get that spot between 2 others. Got a little bit of a scrum going on with the 4 coming out of touch. The number 8 horse, your favorite, going in a touch, and I think that really emboldened her to just really stick her neck out and assert herself as the one to get her nose down at the wire by about a neck at the end.
And I think we've been talking about streaky and hot connections. Joe Davis, you heard in the call, He's been on fire tonight. Just wins another victory on the
2 for 2 on dirt now for this horse who had spent a lot of time on the synthetic, and maybe this is just what she wanted to do all along.
The 4-year-old filly by Violence, White Dove. Fernando de la Cruz aboard one last time out. Wins right back. Sarah El Badoui, nice selection once again. Hey, you got a big log shot coming up in the Dan Patch. We're going to find out who Wally likes in the Dan Patch as well. $300,000 though, Wally. I mean, those drivers, they know that there's a few more zeros behind that purse here tonight.
Yeah, but they forget all about that. Come game time, that's gone out the door. Maybe thought a lot about it, like maybe earlier in the day, but right now they're just getting ready to come out of the paddock. They're going to have their game face on. Look, this is going to be a very, very competitive race. The way the races have been going there tonight, I can't see this not being a hot early fractions.
All right, we're looking forward to it, and home field advantage, of course, the 2 Little Rocket Man right now, 8-5. Still plenty of time. Check it out. When we come back, we've got $300,000, the Dan Patch Stakes, here on America's Day at the Races.
As a lifestyle guard, I help people live their best day in the sun. That means keeping the games going. Coming to the rescue when the floaty is too floppy. And delivering high noon when the cooler's empty.
Oh, do you have any peach?
High noon, sun's up.
There is the trophy, and of course, here on Sunday, right here at Saratoga, it's going to be the Corgi Cup 2025. The first time we're going to see the Corgi Cup, and it'll be right here at Saratoga Racecourse. Always a big, fun time at many different racetracks, and now the Corgis are coming here. This gets competitive. It's going to be cute. It'll be adorable. It's going to bring joy to the day, your whole family. Come on out on Sunday. Sarah will be here. You'll be enjoying the Corgi races.
Absolutely. I mean, how could you not be? And I'm excited that they're going to be interspersed with some of our equine athletes, but really looking forward to the different levels of competition of Corgi that we'll have coming up. And Chris, have you ever aspired to call an exotic animal race? Camels, Corgis, anything at all?
Oh, are you kidding? I've called many Corgi races, wiener dog races, camel races.
Oh, so you've been there, done that.
Oh, anything can run competitively on a track, I'm all in. But Sometimes those corgis can kind of run off and have their own plan in mind. That's when things can get a little
This
delayed.
is true.
And it's always fun to see people get the steam. They want to get the steam early on the Corgi Cup. All right, that's on Sunday. We got a $300,000 stakes race coming up. It's the Dan Patch Stakes, and Wally kind of put it into our mind first. How big is this event, especially for a state of Indiana, as this is their marquee event?
Yeah, you know, Dan Patch being, you know, from there and whatnot, but this is one of the nights that I think that they start planning. As soon as this night's over, they start planning for next year already. So it looks like tonight they've got a great crowd there live. And so far, the racing has been very competitive. We're going to see a pretty good show right here. Top drivers, top horses, top trainers. Let's get it on.
And Little Rocket Man would have to be, you know, a super horse to be even in the name, like in the ilk of Dan Patch, but he's making his own name and home field advantage, big race.
Well, Little Rocket Man, you know, being bred right there in the state, right there, and made the money that he made and won the amount of race that he has. I'm sure the following he has there tonight, the gathering he has there tonight, is just unbelievable. Well, just look at him. Here he is here. Look how proud a horse, 9 years old, and you know, just he's ready to rumble.
The 3 is going to be coming up right here after Little Rocket Man. And you're pretty familiar with some of these horses in here, but we got Desperate Man coming up, Matt Kakaley, Travis Alexander, 6-1. Anything that you saw here from the 3?
Yeah, I raced against him on his last start here, right at Saratoga. He whacked it out on the front end. Most of his races are on the front end. He finished second, but it wasn't a strong second. So I don't think the horse is right on top of his game right now, but that doesn't mean he can't win.
Here's the 4. I Did It My Way, one that has shown some speed. Do you think this one will be up with the early pace?
I can't see him really being involved at all.
Rock and Roll Runa, Larry Stahlbaum, we saw him with the big winner. Does this long shot have a shot?
I think if Larry uses the same strategy that he used earlier with his other horse, and there's a hot pace, he could get a piece of it.
Pace makes the race. Coach Stefano, he would like it quite a bit. Marcus Miller, 6-1 right now.
Coach Stefano, he's my, I guess you could, what is he there now?
6-1.
6-1. He's my long shot.
And then Captain Luke is following right in behind. That'll be Todd McCarthy for Andrew Harris.
Captain Luke, I absolutely love him. I don't know what kind of a trip he's going to get, but he's just coming off a victory in 47-3. Going to be tough to beat.
Trainer Ron Burke, we spoke about him. Chris Page, Buy the Missile, there's the 8.
Buy the Missile, $2.5 million. What else you got to say?
I'm going to stop you on the 9 because somebody loves the 9 here, Charlie May. What do you think?
I love the one driver I've become familiar with who's having a successful night so far, looking to win this race for the 3rd consecutive year in a row with what would be the biggest prize.
Awesome. Sabonis, the 10, Dexter Dunn, 2nd tier.
Wow, 2nd tier. Yeah, I'm not real keen on 2nd tiers, but Dexter Dunn, the leading driver in the nation, and Brett Pelling, he knows how to win.
And Hunting the Last Dollar, of course, has to be the outside draw there. Hunting the Last Dollar is the 11, Andrew McCarthy.
Actually, Hunting the Last Dollar, if you look, he's the leading money winner this year. So it'd be no surprise if he got the job done.
11 of them, Hunting the Last Dollar, trying to get all the dollars, $300,000. Gabe, Jess, you've heard what we think. What do you guys got? The Dan Patch Stakes.
Well, I'm really excited for the Dan Patch Stakes, Gabe. I alluded to this earlier. I think it's one of the more wide-open events we've seen in the last handful of years.
Yeah, a lot of times we've had like a standout favorite here. Just Bulldog Hanover, of course, caught the sport by storm a couple of years back. He won this race as a heavy favorite. This is just a deep group, very high quality. Again, the combined earnings here over $15.3 million, this field of 11. So very deep group, good group. It's going to be quite the show. As the guys on set just alluded to, we've seen a very fast track to digest. We've seen plenty of action throughout these races. Note the stakes record here in the Dan Patch, 147-2. That's held by Sweet Lou and Lather Up. So who knows? Could we shoot down the stakes record here? This could be the quickest Dan Patch ever, as far as I'm concerned, if the action is hot early, as we fully expect.
You know, these are the creme de la creme of harness racing, of the older pacers. And you've seen or heard, I guess you could could say, from a handful of trainers that it's such a deep division of horses year after year, the last couple of years since Bulldog Hanover, that Trip really depends on who's going to win some of these big races.
Yeah, I just wish we could know who was going to get it.
Could you give us a little 411?
That's the problem all of us handicappers have out here. The key thing with this race, again, you put 2 horses in the second tier. So what that does, obviously makes their job a little tricky because they've got to navigate some of that traffic, but it also may force the hands of some of these horses on the outside. So if you take a back, so to speak, off the gate, well, not only are you behind all the horses inside of you, but those 2 in the second tier, they're probably also going to get out in front of you. So you take a horse like a 7, Captain Luke, as Wally said, he didn't know what type of trip he's going to get. Well, that's because, if he leaves, he's obviously going to be forced to be out there. Could be a quick pace scenario. That could be a little bit to his detriment. But if he takes back, well, goodness, he could get away 9th in this spot, assuming the 10 and 11 get in front of him. That would leave him probably in no chance land.
We've seen plenty of stiff fractions throughout the night, so that's really set up for a couple of races to come from off the pace, second over. And there's about a handful of horses in here that can do it from off of the pace. I want to talk about your top choice. That's the 10, Sabonis. He's going to trail. This is a horse who loves Indiana. He's an Indiana bred. He's had plenty of success over the Hoosier Park Oval. He was the winner of the Milstein, the Jenna's Beach Boy, and the Hoosier Cup at the age of 3. At the age of 4, he won the graduate final. He was an invite to this race, and Dexter Dunn, he's going to look for a second Dan Patch. That first one came with the great Bulldog Hanover.
Yes, and not quite as big of a favorite as the Bulldog, but Dex has got a very live horse here in Sabonis from Posthead. Just this one is an Indiana-bred horse. He raced here primarily last season. He was 16 of 18 at 3. Now, this season he has moved out to some of the East Coast connections, so it's great to have him home. A little bit of a homecoming for Sabonis. I do think from that second-tier start, Dex is probably going to end up getting away here somewhere mid-pack with Sabonis. I think if that pace is lively, that could aid his chances here because I think we're going to see several lead changes. I think we're going to see several vie for position in that opening turn. I think it could just tee a horse up like Sabonis. As we know, standardbreds by nature, they like to draft along. So maybe once that outside flow begins, if we get Sabonis maybe covered up second or third over in this event, I think they could tip off cover. We've seen that sort of move work as the night has progressed.
Wally said or alluded to this, that he doesn't always love the trailing position. Sabonis has seen the trailing position once already this year. That was his first start in against older horses. He was in the Graduate Series, which is strictly for 4-year-olds, and then no pun intended, they graduate to face the older horses. That was his first start in against older horses. He was only beaten a half a length by Oakwood Arden and Coach Stefanos, who both paced home very strongly on the outside of him. I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, so he's dealt with this before. Now, the difference that night, Jess, that was back in mid-July, nearly a month ago now at this point. He did try and opt a middle move in the race. He tried to move to the lead. I think tonight, there you're taking a look at Sabonis. Maybe if he just relaxes a little bit more in the earlier stages, I think that, he could be the fresh horse. The difference is here at Hoosier Park, this is a long home stretch. I just don't want to make the lead too early. I think if you do, you could take a lot of pressure here, and it's a long way home.
Yeah, and Wally alluded to this as well. Brett Pelling, a heck of a horseman. He's always got his horses in the best shape. They always look great as well. So I'm sure he's ready to go at 4-1 from post 10. Little Rocket Man, he's the lukewarm 2-1 favorite right now. Gabe Michael Oosting, his regular pilot behind him. You mentioned this earlier. He's riding a 4-race win streak and against the Open Company here at Hoosier Park.
Just some great folks just involved with this horse, and they're all locally based. Again, we're about 40 miles from downtown Indianapolis in a town called Anderson, Indiana. These guys are from Anderson, so, this is going to be an absolute party like you've never seen before for Little Rocket Man. If he's anywhere in contention, 30 for home, this grandstand and track apron are going to absolutely erupt. He's 9-5 up there right now. The only thing I can say, he's a horse that likes to, you typically utilizes early speed. That works when you're here week in, week out at Hoosier Park against some of the local horses. I'm just not so sure against a deep field like this if he's going to be able to go to the lead and maintain it the entire way.
This will be his 4th attempt at the Dan Patch. He had a career year last year. He just simply loves to do his job.
He absolutely does. And how about him getting better with age? Like we caught up with co-owner Boomer Freeman. He made over $500,000 last year at the age of 8. The oldest horses to ever win the Dan Patch, just 7 years old. There was a couple. He's 9, Jess. He could be the elder statesman if he can get it done, and that's quite a bit of respect the public's giving him right now as the wager favorite.
I love 6-1 on the 6, Coach Stefanos. This is another Indiana bred for the home team for Irv Miller. He's got 2 wins from 8 starts so far this season. One of those came in the Dave Brower Memorial, where he came from well off of the pace to get the job done. Irv has had 2 second-place finishes in this race. Marcus is making his Patch debut, and he's another horse. He loves his track.
It's all in the family here. Treader Irv Miller, who you just mentioned, his son Marcus Miller drives. So family affair with Coach Stefanos. Good story there. Named after one of the coaches from one of the kids there, the ownership group. And now they have him as a co-owner, Chris Stefanos. So over $1.3 million. He is a dedicated closer. He is going to absolutely eat up ground at this home stretch if they go those quick fractions. I think that's the type of thing that could play into the hands of a horse like Coach Stefanos. 7-1, pretty good price here out of as well.
Desperate Man, he was just beat in that Garrity at Saratoga as they head to the gate. You're getting 7-1 on him. I know there was a lot of talk earlier on in the week, Gabe, that those two, the 2 and 3, were going to really vie for favoritism.
Yeah, Desperate Man up there, a little cold. I do know Trader Travis Alexander mentioned a bit earlier. They checked his blood work after the last start. Maybe not quite as good as Wally had mentioned, but you know they tried to clean up some stuff here. Trader Travis Alexander was looking for an improved try.
All right, this is the one we have been waiting for. It's the Grade 2 free-for-all Dan Patch Stakes here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. Michael Chamberlain will have your call.
Field is now moving into the stretch. Dan Patch, number 32. Here they come. They are off. A good start for Little Rocket Man. Desperate Man showing speed. 7 colors to the inside third. Captain Luke is fourth. Sabonis got a good position from the second tier, as did Huntin' the Last Dollar. Coach Stefanos is moving up on the outside. Then it's I Did It My Way to the inside. By the Missile is caught wide moving through the turn. Rock and Roll Runa is 10th. 11th and last is Charlie May. Opening quarter 26-1. And it's Desperate Man to set the pace. Little Rocket Man to sit the pocket. 7 colors is third. A length and a half further to Captain Luke. Sabonis is racing fifth. Huntin' the Last Dollar right behind that. I Did It My Way is to the inside. And then on the outside comes Coach Stefanos. To the inside once again is Rock and Roll Runa. Then By the Missile is 10th, and Charlie May is the trailer. Half mile, 54-1, second quarter, 28 seconds. They're moving on to the second turn, and Little Rocket Man has taken the lead. Little Rocket Man in front of length. Then Desperate Man. Here comes Sabonis first over. Sabonis is moving up after the leader. 7 colors is racing fourth. Huntin' the Last Dollar is second over out there with Coach Stefanos and Captain Luke the next two. Then I Did It My Way to the inside of By the Missile. The last two are Charlie May and Rock and Roll Runa. 3 quarters, 1:22-1. 28-second the third quarter. Sabonis has taken the lead. It is Sabonis now in front. Little Rocket Man back to second. Desperate Man is third. By the Missile is trying to close here on the far outside. And then up the inside is Captain Luke. It is Sabonis. Desperate Man is coming on. Sabonis is desperate to hold off Desperate Man, but Sabonis does it! Sabonis wins the Dan Patch. By the Missile flew up to photo for second with Desperate Man. Captain Luke was there also down on the inside. The time was 1:49-2.
Dexter Dunn had a decision to make. The decision was to be with Sabonis, the number 10, trainer Brett Pelling. Wally, Sabonis holding off the late charge. Sabonis wins the Dan Patch.
Yeah, you know, Dexter, once again, there you go. When you're hot, you're hot. And, you know, he put that horse in the best position he could possibly do leaving the gate. He trailed out the Little Rocket Man, which was a big, great decision to do. Quite honestly, you know, he had the best horse.
Little Rocket Man, no excuses. I mean, he got the trip that he wanted.
I mean, he dug. He gave everything he had. You know, he let a horse go. He had to use him again going back to the lead. I kind of thought that he stole the second quarter a little bit, but this horse here was just too powerful. He come first up. He was just a better horse tonight.
And the hot driver, the hot connections, Dexter Dunn. He makes the right decision.
Brett Pelling, Dexter Dunn. What else can you say?
Dexter Dunn gets the victory. Sabonis and Gabe Pruitt with the winning selection. He is trackside. Gabe, Sabonis is your winner.
Guys, It worked out like I was hoping there, guys. You just never know, as we were talking about prior to that race, how it's going to play out. But the pace, obviously, very live there. I thought Mike Oosting took his shot with Little Rocket Man. He moved back to the top. He sort of wanted to put himself up there as the target. But at the end of the day, this one all about Sabonis. Dex had him away 5th from the gate. This was a nice trip. He marched up to the outside and went right by it. I know Jessica Otten is standing by here very shortly with the winning driver, Dexter Dunn, who put him in a perfect spot here tonight.
Dexter Dunn gets a job done with Sabonis. It's a little bit of a homecoming for Sabonis. First and foremost, Dexter, post 10, you had to navigate through that back tier.
Yeah, you know, it always makes it tricky, and you know, as expected, there's a lot of action going into that first turn, but we got a pretty good suck through. I sort of thought I was getting in a position to be second over, but you had to do it the tough way. You know, he was out basically the whole mile, and Brett was really happy with him, you know, coming into the night, and that was a massive run by him.
First over, up the backside and into that far turn. You had Desperate Man on your back, but he's used to the Hoosier Park stretch.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, like he felt full of power, you know, coming around that last turn, but we know it's a long way up the straight and there's going to be good horses coming at you. So, you know, to the horse's credit, he really stuck on tough tonight. It was, like I said, a big mile.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Sabonis gets the job done from post 10 in the Dan Patch Stakes 149-2. Dexter Dunn teaming up with Brett Pelling. Back to you guys.
There is Sabonis getting all the congratulations, and Dexter Dunn, he's done this a few times, and it's when you're in the winner's circle, that's a good place to be, and Sabonis wins the Dan Patch impressively.
Yeah, well, Dexter won the race, I believe, right at the start. The hind tier's tough. When he chose to follow it, Little Rocket Man got him away 5th with nobody on the outside. It was his choice to make then.
Fun night as well. Sarah, you got a chance to give out the standard bred selection. Gave out a nice winner there with White Dove, and it's been a great night overall. And the hot connections, hot handicappers, you just kind of ride those winning streaks.
When you go out on a good note, it's the way to go out, right? And look, Dexter Dunn made the right decision, the right call to go with Sabonis and get that victory in the Dan Patch.
Yeah, I didn't pick a winner all night, so I guess I lost my job.
Luckily, Gabe Pruitt did pick the winner in the Dan Patch, so he might have bragging rights here. But it was great to have you, Wally. Thank you for sitting with us.
It's great to be here, you guys.
Just
Thanks
all
so
great.
much for your time.
We had a great time. Hope you had a great time as well, joining us here on America's Day at the Races. We saw plenty of action, and great job by the state of Indiana. We want to thank Jessica Otten, Gabe Pruitt, Rachel McLaughlin, Wally Hennessy, Sarah Albadwi, the entire team. What a great night. Come back tomorrow. Next show tomorrow, Saratoga Live, right here behind us, and the Corgis on Sunday. Don't miss it here on FS1.
The 2025 Global Symposium on Racing. It's the premier networking event of the year. Connect with the who's who of racing. Collaborate face-to-face with key decision makers. Be a part of the international conversation. Discover the latest technology and innovation. Join us December 8th through 10th. Register at racingsymposium.com.
Fox Saratoga Saturday. Defending champion Farbridge returns in the Grade 1 Resorts World Casino Sword Dancer. A win and you're in challenge for the Breeders' Cup Turf. Join us Saturday, 3 Eastern on Fox.
The official Saratoga Barstool Sports Collection is here. Check out the hottest styles of the summer. Shop this limited drop before it's gone. Get yours at shop.naira.com.
Serving others is our foundation. That's why NYRA is building a pathway for businesses, individuals, and organizations to support